Here we go.
In 5, 4, 3.
Call to me, lands far away.
Elves have forests to protect.
We need to build a wall.
Dwarfs their mines. Men their fields of grain. But we Harfoots have each other.
For I must now wander this wandering day.
We're safe.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel.
No.
Put up your sword.
The enemy is still out there. The question now is where?
It is over.
Nothing is over! Nothing! You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
If you only knew the power of the dark side. Darkness will march over the face of the earth. It will be the end, not just of our people, but all peoples.
Everyone!
I am sorry, but their time has come.
The past is with us all. The past is dead. We either move forward or we die with it.
This could be the beginning of a new era.
Away I must wander this wandering day.
To him finally being lionized as in the prime and his prime. Fuck.
Do it!
Shit.
Just do it! Don't let your dreams Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true!
Luke went from being, oh no. Welcome, Slayer Nation. I have some great news for you today. I hope you're all doing great. Nope, that didn't work. One more.
You have failed me for the last time.
Welcome, Slayer Nation. I hope.
If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up.
That is eating away at what you love in order for it to shine. And one man's vision is... Sometimes you don't have to make things better for them to be great again. You merely have to Okay. Hollywood continues to slow boil the culture and crazy. Well, right now, Spider-Man actor Andrew Garfield has stepped up and he's fighting motherfucker.
I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
And unbearded dwarves, but Prime didn't stop there. They stapled in intersectionality, individuality, biddiga-dig-bee, biddiga-dig-boo.
So it begins.
At my signal, unleash hell.
Ladies and gentlemen, George the Giant Slayer.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Slayer Unchained. I'm your host, George Molo, and today is April 2nd, 2025. Man, the year is moving fast. It's great to see you all, my friends. Let us see who is here. David Moore, greetings to you. Toxic Waltz is in the house. Plus, please say hello to our incredible moderators. We got Lord Thoth, King of Human Beings, and then we have Eric K, King of the Mods. Always beautiful people. Tom from Midnight's Edge. And Midnight's Edge After Dark is going to be joining us in a minute, and then also Verbal Riot. And we got a lot to cover today. But I think one of the saddest things for me, even I know we face a lot of crazy stuff in this world. Between our politicians, the world going to hell in a handbasket, but we keep fighting to get a fight. We've had a lot of celebrities, a lot of actors pass away in the last few months. We lost Gene Hackman a little while ago. James Earl Jones, just so many. But today, we lost Val Kilmer in the last few hours. 65 years old. And he's one of my favorite actors. I mean, I loved almost everything he was in. From The Salton Sea and Top Secret. Anybody remembers Real Genius, The Doors, Heat. And my favorite has to be Tombstone, even more than Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. Steel Leg of History is coming in, showing his support. How you doing, my friend? Be blessed. He gifted one George the Giant Slayer membership. Now, I know I've been saying the last few weeks we're going to have a member stream, but things have been crazy because I've been planning. So I told you, we're going into a new phase of Slayer Nation. A few surprises. So I'm working for us to have one this Saturday. So that means an extra person will be able to join us because, there is really nothing more that I love than I hate to say the word community, but the community we built, the home that we built together. And so when we come together on a member stream, I mean, for me, that's like we're all sitting on the back porch, having a drink and having a good time. So I look forward to them. Thank you, Steel Leg of History. And whoever got it, thanks, Steel Leg of History. One lucky person today. Aiken is here. Dark Hierophant, one of the greatest names ever. Dark Hierophant is here. Plus, we got Dorothy, and we got Razorburn, my favorite rivet head. Hope y'all are doing wonderful. Now, let's bring him in, and we'll just get right to it. We got Tom from Midnight's Edge. How you doing, my friend?
Hello.
Hello. You doing well?
I'm
Weird.
Weird. I thought we would say, I understand. We'll save the Snow White getting a beat down at the box office from Jason Statham's Working Man. I cannot wait. I'm going to go see it this weekend. I really want to talk to Chuck Dixon about it. I mean, everything I've heard about it, a cousin of mine went to see it last night, and he said he had a great time. It was exactly what you told me, Tom, like old style Sylvester Stallone, knock 'em, sock 'em.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
No, I'm seeing it this weekend. My cousin went. Yeah, my cousin. He was just spoiling them. I was like, I don't care. I can't wait. I love The Beekeeper. He said, if you love The Beekeeper, you're gonna love this. I said, cool. Not a problem. Sounds good.
I mean, the only thing is, I don't want people to think that they're very similar in tone, though.
Right.
Like, people need to understand that The Beekeeper is more fun.
More fun.
This is more serious in tone.
Okay. Is it more like The Mechanic?
Probably. I've never actually seen The Mechanic. So
I love the original.
Not the biggest
Statham
I've
fan.
not seen a lot of Statham films. It's not that I don't like him or anything. I just
you
seen
haven't
a bunch of his movies.
Yeah, I love Statham ever since Snatch. I've always loved him.
Most
things.
That.
Yeah, I love him in most things. Not everything. I didn't like The Meg. That was just, to me, a crap fest. My nieces love The Meg. Oh my God. They're like, where are the megalodons? I'm like, they don't exist. She's like, they got to be out there somewhere. I'm like, nope. Blitzen is coming in hot. Always love your support, Blitzen. You keep the lights on. Thank you. He gifted 10 George the Giant Slayer memberships. Way to go. Everybody, please go thank Blitzen. And I'm going to need to get more support here because I'm running out of fucking booze with this camera. Or I got to buy a new camera. The last one, I did get one a week ago. It shit the bed. So I don't know what it is. I feel like I have gremlins in my
Sounds
PC.
like it's more like your PC than the camera itself. Then yeah,
because that's.
Wonder if you're having like a memory issue or something else. Because I've noticed that lately too. I've had a major memory issue. Like everything keeps crashing on me. So yeah.
Wonderful, Dark Horror Font. My name is Turkish. This year's gorgeous. Thank you. I love your name. I think it is awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Blitzen, for that. So I thought we would start off, with a clip. We're going to go through a lot of clips today of Val Kilmer, just to remember him. Yeah, he was. It was brilliant. I really thought he was going to beat it. I thought he actually had beaten cancer.
Well, yeah, it's too bad. Yeah,
it is. Especially,
I don't know all the specifics, but I know he's been like getting into all that holistic stuff or like medical, like Christian Science or whatever. I don't know. He will be missed. It's sad that we lost him so soon.
Oh yeah, and I remember I told you there were those rumors that he would be using his son to do narration, where we would see him on screen for Heat 2 when they were going back and looking at it. And so I guess he won't be doing that now. Of course, they always have AI, but I don't really like that AI to do that. Here is Top Secret, a scene from Top Secret.
How do we know he's not? Give it a whirl.
It's crazy, man. I don't even know if you can.
Great, Matt.
You can't make films like that anymore today.
Oh hell no! That was from the guys who did Airplane. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's so sad. And then we have him here also in the Prince of Egypt. It's a film, funny enough, that I've never seen.
I just watched that like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. He voices, I believe,
it's basically the 10 Commandments truncated in animation form.
Oh, okay. Because I think he voices God, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
What do you want with me? I have seen the oppression of my people in Egypt and have heard their cry.
Stop it! Leave that man alone!
So I have come down to deliver them out of slavery and bring them to a good land. A land flowing with milk and honey. And
that's beautiful. I'm going to have to check that out now. Get everybody to watch it. The Prince of Egypt. Let's see, what else do we have here? And this is my favorite. My favorite all-time has to be Tombstone. That's just, to me, it's a legend. The way he played Doc Holliday, I mean, come on, who doesn't love Tombstone? Every aspect of it. Every aspect of it. I mean, the director, isn't it George P. Cosmatos who did it?
Technically, yes.
Technically, yes? Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's a long, sordid story about how that movie came to screen, but yeah.
Yep, Denton Van Zandt, I'm your aspect of that movie. I always wanted them. They always were rumored that there was a director's cut, like an extra half hour, but I don't know if that was just rumor. It never came to pass.
Oh, no, it's not rumor. In fact, I know somebody who has one of the extended cuts. I've never seen it myself, but then there is that extended cut that was on DVD a few years back, but it was only like 5 extra minutes. But no, like, yeah, the movie was tumultuous in its filming because they lost the first director and Kevin Costner was supposed to be involved and then he backed out.
Isn't it true? Like I remember listening to an interview. I think it was Kurt Russell, and he was. I think he was on. I always forget his name. The guy who played Lex Luthor on Superman. You know, he has his own podcast. He brings in actors.
Oh yeah. Oh shit, I know what you're talking about.
Rosenberg.
Yes, Michael Rosenbaum.
Rosenbaum. So he was talking to him, and they were discussing like how everybody hated the original director. Like the entire set, the cast, the crew, the grips, like
rumor is that Kurt Russell directed a bunch of it because of that. Yeah.
And so it was interesting when they finally got it done. I've watched that at least 2 or 3 times a year, and I haven't gotten tired since it came out. It's one of the few films that no matter how many times I see it, it's like Deadwood. I watch Deadwood at least once a year, the whole thing. There's some things that are made so well, even though you know everything about them and can repeat line by line. They're just beautiful, just works of art. You just wow. Yeah. Nick the Greek for $5. Yasu George. We're losing so many great actors. Rest in peace, Val Kilmer. Also, Tombstone 4K is coming out soon. Hell yeah. I wonder when that is coming out.
April.
April. Wonderful. And then we got Wendy C, a member for 7 months. I'm your Huckleberry. Yeah. I'm your Huckleberry. I used to be able to do one. I'm your Huckleberry. Oh, God, I love the way he spoke in that.
Yeah, Daisy if you do.
Yeah, Daisy if you do. Yeah. I'm in my prime. Let's bring him in. Hey, Verbal.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Man, we're going through some clips, you know, the good ones, the great ones from Kilmer. Yeah. He's going to be missed.
Yeah, that was, man, big loss.
One of my earlier films of his that I remember growing up with was Willow, of course.
Oh, yeah.
It's Mad Mardigan.
Oh, yeah. Classic role.
The greatest swordsman who ever lived.
Mad Mardigan.
My first Val Kilmer movie was Real Genius, and I think for me that one kind of stays like in the top.
Me too,
3.
probably, but for some reason it didn't stick with me as a little. I was probably a little bit younger than you, I think, Verbal, maybe. I don't know. But I don't know. Like, I was pretty young when that came out. So I mean, I remember seeing it. The only thing I remember was the popcorn bit at the end. Like, that's all I remember. But then I saw it as like a teenager. I'm like, this is a completely different movie than I remember seeing as a kid, with all the sexual innuendos and everything else. It's basically like Revenge of the Nerds, basically in the same kind of vein, only a little bit
you know what's funny is I think I saw that and Revenge of the Nerds around the same time.
Yeah,
so I was really jazzed. I was really jazzed about going to college because of those movies. I was like, college is all like panty raids and booze and I'm in.
what was it that he said in Real Genius? He's like, it's like, what dream did you have last night? He goes, I dreamt I was on a volcano and there were nude women throwing pickles at me. Did you have that dream?
All those movies back then made college look so cool, man.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Then it got woke. Then college went and got woke.
Then college sucked. Yeah.
Got woke, man. We could talk about that in a little bit. I was reading an article about the breakdown in universities because they're saying how woke started. Because I'm working on another monologue, so they're saying how woke started in the humanities and in the arts, and they said now it has spread throughout every aspect of the curriculum, every department. Yeah. Like, if they don't address it, they feel it's their North Star that they picked up from NPR, because NPR would say, we're the North Star, to speak truth to power, and you must constantly fight the man. And so now that it's wokeism into every aspect of college.
Yeah, no, college is, it sucks, man, now. Like, and look, obviously I'm a long ways away from college, so it was obviously different in my time, but I live pretty close to a college campus right now. Like, I live by USC. And there was a time, man, when you could walk, just around the area where like all the college girls live, and they'd be out like sunbathing and like, bikinis and shit on their front lawns. And now if you go through the college, it's just like nothing but purple, pink hair, nose rings, just
protest signs.
It's just not the same thing, man.
You know what I don't get about the nose ring?
PCU is that's where it all started.
You know what I don't get about the nose rings? I was watching just this.
Or septum rings, I should say, not nose rings.
Right. The septum rings, right. I was watching this special. You know how you go down a YouTube rabbit hole? And I ended up watching this guy called the Hoof Doctor, where he basically takes care of cows. And he has to shave their hooves and do all this kind of medical stuff to them. And so it led me to another episode. Said, let's look at the history of the nose ring. And they were explaining how they were originally made for cows, and for bulls, so they can get them to move. They would put them in there, so when they didn't want to move, they'd have a rope through it, and they'd pull it, and it would cause pain. And then they went through various cultures and stuff, and I was like, why in the world would you want to wear that kind of thing? It's like, you even had in Roman times, they used them for slaves. I'm like, it's like every aspect where it's used, it just has this, for most parts, a negative connotation. There are some cultures who have it in a positive light, but it's just
but the problem is the people who do it for culture reasons, man. Like they almost have a different like vibe about them. You know what I mean? Like they don't seem as weird as the weirdos who basically have stolen that look from them, right?
Right.
And that's the problem, man. And it's funny because these people all they do is appropriate, right? They love to use that word appropriation, right? But that's all they do is appropriate. They appropriated punk culture, they appropriated black culture, they appropriated. That's all they do.
You remember that guy in was it San Francisco or was it UCLA? Where he had dreadlocks, the white guy who had dreadlocks. It was like 6 years ago, and that whole gang ran him down a hallway and up the stairs. They're like, "You got to cut those off. You got to remove."
They
it.
just had a girl that had that happen to. Like,
yeah, that just happened to another
2
chick
weeks ago. Yeah,
no shit.
No, and I've got no problem with using these nose rings as they were originally intended. Grab them, fucking just start. If you start protesting, doing stupid shit, grab them by the nose ring and just pull them out of there.
My cousin came to a Thanksgiving, family Thanksgiving. It was 3 years ago. And she came in and she had this little nose ring. And the first thing that I did when she said, I was like, "Is that?" I was like, "Give me this." And she's like, "George, it was a joke. It was fake. It wasn't attached." I'm like, "Well, thank God. I guess your nose would have come along with it." Anyway. So here's another one.
Really quick, before we move on, just going back to Val Kilmer for a minute.
Please.
I think it's kind of like poetic in a way that, you know, his last film or one of his last films was Top Gun 2.
Yeah.
To kind of, you know, to bring closure to that character, you know what I mean? And it was weird. It was like saying goodbye to him in that movie felt like, you know, saying goodbye to him in real life. And yeah.
My other favorite story of his is how he got the job of playing Jim Morrison in The Doors. Because originally I think Oliver Stone rejected him as too pretty and too famous. And
wow.
So he sent in a tape, and on the tape was a mix of Val singing and Jim singing, and there was like a letter, or whoever gave it to him challenged him to figure out which one was which. And when Oliver couldn't distinct between the two, he's like, "Well, fuck, I think he's got the job."
Hell yeah.
Right. Like, yeah. So like, yeah, that was really what got him the job. Was he just recorded a couple of Doors songs over the instrumental tracks, and it turned out the entire tape was just Val Kilmer, and that was the other part of it. Was funny because
well done.
Yeah, well, yeah, Val, he was a method actor, and I remember reading when they were talking about the Doors back then from Premiere magazine. They were saying that, again, if this is myth or rumor, I'm not certain, but they said that he had everybody call him Jim, like it wasn't Val, like he was that type of method. He was that type of method actor. Like from the moment they started shooting till everything was wrapped, you had to call him Jim. He had everything.
Well, did you see what Razor Fist posted here just a little bit ago?
No, sir.
He saw, I think he said Michael Bean. I think he said he saw at some fan thing, and he asked them a question about, was it difficult to work with Val Kilmer? And he's like, "I don't know. I never met Val. I only knew him as Doc Holliday." So
yeah, that makes sense. It's like when he got in trouble. I remember the one time he got in trouble was when he did the Isle of Dr. Moreau with Brando.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that story because it came over because he got sued. He was, again, in his role, and supposedly Brando told him, "Stop trying to be me." Because Val had said that Brando was his icon, his idol, because he put out a cigarette butt on a cameraman who took the wrong shot. And I was like, that cannot be real.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's possible. I've heard, well, I mean, you guys got to remember, before Val even got sick, he kind of became persona non grata in Hollywood. Like in the late 90s, he kind of just faded away. Well, that was because of how difficult he was supposedly to be working with his methods.
He's supposed to have mellowed out over the years.
He did, and I guess like he even reflected a lot. I watched part of his documentary. I never got to finish it all. I just never went back to it. And I think even there, he talked about it. I think it was too about how, when he was younger, he regretted a lot of the ways he acted and stuff sometimes.
I mean, but a lot of those guys, man, like Sean Penn was the same way, back in the day.
Well, he still probably is.
Probably still is, but probably a little bit more mellow than he used to be, because Sean used to be wild, man.
And even Edward Norton, for instance, I've heard from many people that basically...
Edward Norton is notorious,
What you see him in as Birdman, in that movie Birdman, that's basically him in real life, I've heard.
Yeah. Is that why the MCU didn't pick him up as Hulk?
Yes, absolutely why.
Well, it's one of the reasons. It kind of. I mean, he wanted his version of the Hulk.
He wanted full control, yeah.
Yeah, he wanted full control. They weren't going to do that.
Because I remember the last role I saw him in that I really loved. I know he did again one with Brando, because Brando, I loved everything Brando was in. But he did the one American History X.
Oh, great film.
Oh,
Yeah.
Norton, yeah.
I always thought he should have won an Oscar.
Well, he was
for that.
great. Just recently, he just got. I think didn't he get nominated again for Complete Unknown?
Yeah.
He didn't. He should have been, because
No, I
he's
think he was
great in
nominated.
that. I was just watching that before the show. That's why I was a little late, because I was like, oh shit. Because I got the
I mean,
Blu-ray
look,
in
man,
the mail.
there are good things and bad things about method acting. Like I remember that Dave Chappelle would tell the story about, like, you know, we went to see Jim Carrey when he was doing Man on the Moon, and you know, everybody on set was calling Jim Andy because he was playing Andy Kaufman.
Yeah,
and Chappelle said, you know, he was pissed because he wanted to meet Jim Carrey, not
any.
Well, I love the story from that one. Is great. Is Milos Forman, the director? He got so fed up with it because he didn't know what to expect most days, especially if he showed up as Tony Clifton. Because if he was Tony Clifton, like Jim had gotten kicked off the fucking lot like 3 times as Tony Clifton, because he would show up with real hookers and shit like that.
Oh my god!
And yeah, and so one night he calls Jim and he goes, "Hey Jim, how's it going?" And Jim's like, "Yeah, great. How you doing, Milos?" He goes, "I just got to talk to you. I just can't handle this thing anymore with Andy. I just can't do it anymore. I can't. I just can't." And Jim's like, "All right, I hear you, Milos." He goes, "I can do this. I can come to the set tomorrow and I can be Jim and I can pretend to be Andy and I can pretend to be Tony.
Right.
But that's up to you." And then there's a long pause and Milos goes, No, I just wanted to talk to Jim for a minute. I'll see you tomorrow." It hangs up.
That's classic. That's classic. Wow. Yeah, it's when I was in theater, the teacher that taught us always said, you know, go with Stanislavski's The Method. But I always remember I think it was the story from Laurence Olivier on Marathon Man talking to Dustin Hoffman. As it goes, it's like he showed up on set for that scene where he's going to be tortured, and where Olivier's character's pulling his teeth or drilling into his teeth, into the nerve, and he sees Hoffman come on set. He's like exhausted, right? He's like, "Well, I've stayed up for 3 days. I've run. I've done." He's like, "Why, my dear boy, don't you just learn how to act?"
Oh god, yeah. Dustin Hoffman's another one of those. Yeah, but no, Val was 1 in a million. He will be definitely missed. I mean,
oh yeah, we don't have it. Who's another Val? Who's another Val today?
Oh gosh,
the only one I think that could come close is Glenn Powell. He might be.
Yeah, that's a good
guy.
example. I like that one. Yeah, Verbal. That's probably a good one.
Like, who's a James Earl Jones or Gene Hackman? I mean, who's replacing these?
Chris Pratt kind of has his charisma and his humor, but he doesn't have quite the looks of Val. Like Val was just, I mean, like a goddess as far as like, I mean, a Greek god as far as how good he looked. Like women just adored him. I mean, come on. And I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and it was crazy. And what's really interesting or cool about Val Kilmer, man, is you know, every now and then on Instagram and Twitter, like I know where the black areas are, if you know what I mean. And so, so I go and and they'll post things like
there's
the
a black part of Twitter.
Well, like there's a site called the Shade Room, and it's like a lot of black folks that comment on different topics and everything. And they brought up Val Kilmer, and just to see like post after post after post of them quoting his movies, it's like Val was just loved, man. Like
everywhere across the board.
Did you see the Babylon Beast post on that?
No.
They said it did a story is that Val Kilmer dies, so men will be quoting him all day long. So just like every other day.
Hell yeah! I still want to find out about this black Twitter. I gotta check.
Me
that
too.
out.
I'm interested now.
It used to be more of a thing, not so much these days because I think they all went to Blue Sky or something. But Black Twitter used to be like a place where, they just talk about shit. And again, there's certain sites like the Shade Room. Like you can find the Shade Room on Instagram, you can find them on Twitter, on X, whatever. But yeah, just to see like how many people just loved him, no matter where they were from,
right.
No matter what background. Val Kilmer was just like universally loved.
Of course. Absolutely.
He was just cool. I mean, he was just uber cool.
Yeah,
right. He always had that about him. And yeah, he will be missed. Definitely.
Absolutely. This, I think, has to be one of my favorite scenes from the movie.
Oh, yeah.
That I've always, besides loving the movie, been fascinated. How Kilmer became this a legend, right? But then Michael Biehn, I've always thought he was an amazing actor. It's like how you could have two people who have amazing talent, but one makes it and the other one is just always.
Well, Michael Biehn is more of a character actor. Which is fine. I mean, it's like he's a good. You know what? He's like a Walton Goggins, right?
Okay,
it's like good example. Yeah,
you see him everywhere. He's a great character actor. Could he be a lead? Probably. Yeah, he probably could have been, but. It also depends on what roles he turned down. It could depend on a lot of different things on why he didn't, become that status of Val Kilmer. But
he could have been one of those guys that was always the B guy, right? Like they always had it in mind, and then somebody else took the role instead that was just that much more famous, and that happens.
Because I remember him in The Abyss. You remember being in The Abyss? He was.
Man.
Well, that's because he was
Cameron loved Michael Biehn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then we have, because we were just talking about The Doors. We're going to go through this for another minute, and then we'll jump on forward. Where did you go? Here we go. Oh, here it is. He's going to definitely be missed. I just don't have that many of them left anymore. Kurt Russell.
Nah, we don't, man.
Oh, The Doors, man. I love this movie. Although it's another one that's not very historically accurate.
He put his boots on.
You're going to get nailed for the music.
I know. They're going to nail me for the earlier, so I'm just going to have to cut them out.
From the ancient gallery, and he walked on down the hall.
I've always wondered, did he actually sing, or were they using...
No, this was him through 90% of the film, yeah.
Really?
And it's funny, because I'm not a big Oliver Stone guy, but for me, that's that was probably like one of his best.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like him probably more than you do, but yeah, I'll even agree that it's probably one of, even though it, again, not so historically accurate, but.
I just finished watching JFK last weekend. Stone's JFK with Kevin Costner.
Oh, I love that one too.
Stone is one of those guys, he's one of those directors who will blame the audience if his movies fail, and that's something I never liked about him. I remember back in 95, 96, I went to, he was hosting this, every Thursday, USC at the film school would have this where they have a guest director or guest somebody from the film industry every week, and he was one, and it was a big one, and people waited in line for like hours to go see him. And I was lucky enough to have a friend who worked the door, so he got me in through the back. But I'm sitting there, and this is around the time. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not 95. This is like when Alexander came out. So.
Right. Bombed, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say when you're getting to his.
When he was talking about Alexander, he basically kind of implied that it was the fans' lack of sophistication, that they didn't get what Alexander was and what he was trying to do. And I'm like, dude, that movie just sucked ass. Like, look, just admit, look, you have a library of great films. Just admit that you made one that sucked, and everyone could just they
move on.
About it.
Kilmer was in that. He was Alexander's father when he was Philip.
Yeah, I mean, we could all forgive that, man. But you're going to sit here and tell the audience that they were too dumb to get what you were doing. So with the Alexander the Great movie,
which I've always thought Hollywood still needs to make one epic Alexander the Great film.
If anything, you just turn around and you blame the studio for not knowing how to market it. That was probably the film's. If anything, look, because I know that movie has its fans, right? It has a little cult following.
Dude, it only has fans because Rosario Dawson gets topless.
Yeah,
regardless. I mean, there is like stoneheads or whatever you want to call them that love, talk about the film and the various differences.
If nothing else, Rosario's titties saved that movie.
I like Troy 10 times better.
That was a situation where I will say, he shouldn't blame the audience. I agree with you, Verbal. If anything, he should be blaming the studio for not knowing how to market the goddamn thing, because that was the thing.
It was horribly edited. No, I love long movies. I have the extended cut of Troy. I enjoy it. I did not enjoy it. As a Greek, I was dying to see. I was there Friday night when it premiered, and not happy about it. Not happy.
Yeah, no, Troy was a great film, man. I still stand by that movie.
Oh, I love it, but I like the extended version even better. That's why I said Alexander the Great did not do it for me.
It depends on the movie. It all depends on the movie for me in the extended version.
Yeah, I typically like longer.
Because a lot of
films.
times things are cut out for a reason.
I know, but I like longer films. How do I put it? If I love the movie, I want the longest.
If it's a movie if I love and I've seen it a million times, or something like The Lord of the Rings where it's filmed that way, that's different. But like sometimes the extended cut can just ruin the pacing, or like I said, there was a reason that was cut out to begin with. Sometimes it's just director's pretentiousness.
Like that movie for me, honestly, is Watchmen. I didn't care for the extended version of Watchmen. I preferred just the theatrical cut. I felt like it went on way too long. I felt like there were just scenes that we didn't need. So not every time. I don't think the extended always works.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with your sentiment, but like Watchmen for me is an example of one that I like both versions, because I love that the extended cut is all stuff that's in the comic that didn't make the theatrical cut. But the theatrical cut is one of those films that managed to get everything that was important from the graphic novel in the theatrical version that you need as an audience member to kind of understand what Watchmen is all about. That was one that Zack Snyder actually did succeed on for the most part.
No, I get it, and maybe it's because I read the comic, and I didn't need all those extra parts because I already knew the book. So like to me the theatrical kind of moved a little bit better. It moved a little faster. But again, that's a rare situation, right? Because normally I do like the extended cut. Like I like the Batman vs Superman extended cut.
I'm on the other end of that one. See, I'm like, yeah, it's a little bit better, but it just was all stuff that I already kind of had to figure on my own as an audience member when I saw the movie the first time. It didn't help it for me. Just made it more of the same, longer.
It helped it a little bit more for me than the theatrical cut. The theatrical was terrible.
Hell yeah,
I can see that.
I love the
one that I always go to that I always cite as the worst ever, though, is the Dumb and Dumber extended unrated cut. They need to get that is one that I always point out is this is an example of why you don't do this to a movie, because it kills the entire pacing of the film. The jokes they have in there now are the more gross out versions of the jokes that were in the film, and they don't even have the regular PG version, PG-13 version on the disc. You are stuck with that unrated version now.
Right.
So you're like, what the fuck is this? And you can't, and they got all these other extra scenes that are just really destroy the pacing of the movie and have nothing to do with the actual story. And there's a few other ones like that too, but anyway,
cool.
Sorry.
All right. So we're going to do this last one and Real Genius, another clip, and that's it. We'll move on.
You are still dangerous.
Gayest scene in history.
You can be my wingman anytime. Bullshit. You can be mine.
I want to be on top. No, I want to be on top.
I don't know. I love that.
I like it. But you ever seen the Tarantino thing where he talks about it's from one of the movie he's in? About that, how that's a gay allegory?
No, I haven't seen
it. God. It's funny as hell.
Well, I mean, come on, man. The whole movie. I mean, if you take the volleyball scene, I mean that.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I was ignoring that. I was.
Oh, but you know what though? It was a great movie. Great movie.
You know, I've gotten recently. I saw this one channel after I watched Top Gun Maverick again, and this one guy, I think he's a captain. He was a fighter pilot. And him and another fighter pilot were breaking down Top Gun Maverick. And it just gave me a new appreciation for Maverick because they are so hilarious in the way they're like, no, you wouldn't have done this, but you would have done this. Now here, Maverick, Tom Cruise sounds exactly like a Hornet pilot. It was just, I got it.
No, Top Gun Maverick was better than the first movie, actually.
I enjoyed both. What was this? The Tarantino?
This is the Tarantino thing, yeah. I think you might get a kick out of it.
What's the film about? What's it really about? What genre does it take? What like it? Like the spine? The spine? Like one sentence? Like no, I don't fucking Boy Meets Girl. I don't give a shit about that. Fuck Boy Meets Girl. Fuck motorcycle movie. No, what is really being said? What's really being seen? That's what you were talking about. Because the whole idea, man, is subversion. You want subversion on a massive level. You know what one of the greatest fucking scripts ever written in the history of Hollywood is? What? Top Gun. Top Gun is fucking great. What is Top Gun? You think it's a story about a bunch of fighter pilots? Yeah, it's about a bunch of guys waving their dicks around. It is a story about a man's struggle with his own homosexuality. That's it. That is what Top Gun is about, man. You've got Maverick, all right? He's on the edge, man. He's right on the fucking line, all right? And you've got Iceman and all his crew. Right. They're gay. And they represent the gay man, right. All right? And they're saying, go go the gay way, go the gay way. He could go both ways.
What about Kelly McGillis? Right?
Kelly McGillis, she's heterosexuality. She's saying no, go the normal way. Play by the rules, go the normal way. And they're saying no, go the gay way, be the gay way, go for the gay way. Right? That is what's going on throughout that whole movie.
What is this party? Who are these people that make me sick? What is that? Who are you? Who are you? What is he wearing? It's some kind of like dance jumpsuit, freakish little gaucho. Let's go to Spain and dance with our arms over our heads.
Or something like that.
He goes to her house, right? All right. It looks like they're gonna have sex. You know, they're just kind of sitting back. He's taking a shower and everything. They don't have sex. He gets on the motorcycle, drives away. She's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on here? Right. Next scene you see her. She's in the elevator. She is dressed like a guy. She's got the cap on. She's got the aviator glasses. She's wearing the same jacket that the Iceman wears. She is, okay, this is how I gotta get this guy. This guy's going towards the gay way. So I gotta bring him back. I gotta bring him back from the gay way. So I'm gonna do that.
I got a positive.
Dressed like a man.
Anyway, that is cool.
That is hilarious.
That is hilarious. Thank you, Tom.
It gets even better. There's more. The end is where you missed the punchline.
Okay.
Man. All right. That is how she approaches it. Right. Okay. But let me just ask you. I'm gonna digress for 2 seconds here. But I met this girl Amy here. She's like full vagina and everything. Now when they fight the medics at the end, all right, because he has passed over into the gay way. They are this gay fighting fucking force, all right, and they're beating the Russians. The gays are beating the Russians, all right, and it's over, and they fucking land. And Iceman has been trying to get Maverick the entire time. Finally, he's got him, all right. And what is the last fucking line that they have together? They're all hugging and kissing and happy with each other. And Ice comes up to Maverick and he says, "Man, you can ride my tail anytime." And what does Maverick say? Maverick, "You can ride my sword fight! Sword fight! Sword fight!"
I mean, it's completely like a bit, but yeah, I forgot the name of the movie it's from. It's just some little indie flick that he was in, but like, yeah.
That's wild, man.
I have never seen that.
You can tell he probably wrote that monologue, though.
Oh, absolutely. That
was all Tarantino.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because that's basically the Madonna speech in fucking
Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs. Dick. That's a lot of dick.
That's a lot, yeah.
That is classic Tarantino, man.
Hell yeah. Hunter became a new George the Giant Slayer member. Welcome aboard. Great to have you, Hunter. Can't wait to meet you at next member stream.
Actually, that might segue into the other thing I think you wanted to talk about with Quentin Tarantino.
I do, because Quentin Tarantino is coming back, which I've never seen him do a sequel. I mean, I get Kill Bill was filmed as one.
Technically the same movie, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's David Fincher to direct Brad Pitt and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood sequel written by Quentin Tarantino.
Interesting.
Yeah, and Brad Pitt's coming back. What's interesting about it is it seems like Tarantino, because, you know, he said he would only do 10 films that he wrote and directed, and he's got his last one, and he keeps pushing it back. I'm just like waiting.
I don't know if he's going to hold to that, though.
You don't think so?
Look, I don't know, man. It's weird to me to hear any filmmaker say, this would be my last thing, right? Because it's like if you're a filmmaker, that's what you do. It's like you do it. Like, I get it. You don't want to end up like Ridley Scott. I get that, right? But
but he said it, he told it to a BBC reporter one time, and I know I'll look it up in a second.
To totally walk away from the film business, I don't know.
It's because he gave a great analogy, because the guy had asked him, they were basically going through this whole thing, and were you serious that you would only do 10? He's like, look, directors, he goes, think of them like a prize fighter. A prize fighter has only a certain amount of time that they're at their peak, they're at their best. And he says there are a lot of directors, you hit your stride, you know exactly what you want, you have a vision, it's fresh, you do your thing, and the problem is they don't leave the stage. They just keep rehashing it. He says he doesn't want to start copying himself. So he put it in his mind, he wants to do 10. He's got 10 ideas, well, that'll be his legacy.
I mean, I respect it.
Yeah.
Like, I do respect it. If he does it, if he holds true to it, okay. But
that doesn't mean he won't write. I mean, he's
already hinted that he's going to continue to write, and he said television. Like, he's really interested in doing some television.
That would be interesting, man. Tarantino on television.
Wow. And I'm not even kind of surprised by this, and I'll tell you what I think it is, because he's already got this deal with Netflix. He's talked about releasing an extended cut of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and doing it in 4 parts like he did with Hateful Eight.
Right.
He's also talked about where he has 6 scripts written of Bounty Law, where it would be, you know, Leo basically playing his character in the show Bounty Law
as a
6
series.
episodes. As a series, yeah, for 6 episodes. Yeah, because he's like really into this world. And I have a feeling what this is, I think this is part of his critic script that he decided not to do, that Brad Pitt fell in love with. Because I guess Brad Pitt, with Quentin Tarantino's permission, went to Fincher with this.
Wow.
So that's what it's about. So I think that's what's going on here. That's my hunch, because if you guys remember when he was going to do The Critic, that movie that he was going to do, and then he decided not to, Brad Pitt was supposed to be in it as Booth.
Right.
So I think he's just because since Brad Pitt probably was like, oh shit, we're not doing this movie, he was probably really jazzed up to be it. Because that was the thing is, and that's my understanding, is this is supposed to be more of a movie about him. Even though I think Leo's supposed to be in it, I think it's going to be more about him. And,
it's not really a sequel. It's just more of a spinoff of.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, if you guys remember, now this is really nerding it up, but if you guys remember when he made Jackie Brown,
right?
Steven Soderbergh was making the movie with J-Lo and Out of Sight. Couldn't think of the title for a second there. Out of Sight. Both of those are based on Elmore Leonard novels, and both of them have the same character in them. So Tarantino had Michael Keaton play the same character in Jackie Brown that Steven Soderbergh had play the same character in his movie. So it is the same character played by the same actor, but they were made at the same time, and they both knew they were doing this on purpose. Right. So Tarantino's always into this little like playing with other worlds and direct. And remember, he's always worked with Robert Rodriguez very closely, right? He wrote From Dusk Till Dawn, right? Those characters are even mentioned in the background of Pulp Fiction if you're paying attention.
Well, yeah, and if you watch Reservoir Dogs, I mean, there's some continuation from that,
exactly,
or from True Romance, you know, and either
and it leads into Pulp Fiction because those two are brothers too. Yeah,
so, I mean, there's a lot of like crossovers.
These films are layered.
Yeah, with his characters, and he has like his own universe, right? I mean, it's the Tarantino verse.
Yep. I'm glad that he's never sold out and gone, you know, picked up the phone and said yes to like the MCU or to Warner for DC. I don't know, or you know,
he
what
just
I'm
would
saying?
never do that though, man. Like
no, but I'm glad. You know how many, how much money they would throw at him, probably just try to get him. Those rumors that used to be years ago that he was going to direct a Star Trek flick.
Oh,
remember
God.
that?
Well, he is a geek. He loves like Luke Cage. He loves comic books. He loves Star Trek, but he knows he could never get away with doing what he wants to do. Right? Like he was all on board for writing a Star Trek movie, but they were never going to fucking do it. The whole thing was just a plea to get something going with some money inside Paramount at the time. We did a video on it, and he even talked about it afterwards, which was a hilarious bit where he basically outed J.J. Abrams and the whole fucking thing. Because he's like, JJ doesn't even understand it. He's like, I don't, he's like, I watched that Star Trek new movie with Chris Pine and all that. And I'm like, fuck that. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like, I like Chris Pine. He's like, he's great as young Kirk. And the cast is great. He's like, but these guys suck. And I'm like talking to JJ. I'm like, I want to do my own thing. He's like, I don't understand it. And my editor tried to explain it to me. I don't understand it. He doesn't understand it. And JJ's like, I don't get it either. Just do whatever you want. I don't care.
If they let him do it alone and they let him alone, I would love to see it, but
yeah,
no way.
They wouldn't. No.
Hunter, for $2, I need Quentin Tarantino in my life. We all do. Love Tarantino. Thank you for that. Now we also have to deal with the fact that on the flip side, John Boyega says Star Wars is so white that a black person existing in it is a big deal. Toxic fans are okay with us playing the friend, but we can't touch their heroes. The opposite of Quentin Tarantino. I don't understand where the hell this came from Boyega. When I saw the trailer for Force Awakens, I was jumping out of my seat going, yes, this is fresh. This is brilliant. I wanted him to go from Stormtrooper to fucking Jedi. I don't know who the hell he's talking.
Well, not only that, we all thought we were going to kind of get some insight on what it was to be a Stormtrooper now, because everybody was kind of debating that thing. And I think that's where he misinterpreted some of the quote unquote racist comments from, because there was a lot of people who were genuinely confused because they didn't understand. They're like, well, wait a minute, we thought all those Stormtroopers were clones. And most fans kind of realized that, yeah, no, by the time we get to the OG trilogy, they're just, you know, you sign up for the Empire, right? Like you just it's just regular Joes. And then by the time we get to the New Order, it kind of looks like, wait a minute, are they like literally taking babies and raising them as stormtroopers? Because that's what it kind of feels like with John Boyega's character, or like when they're kids or whatever. Because
they snatch him. But why would he make this comment? I always had a great deal of respect for him. This
but
came
I think I can explain it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Verbal.
During the time where he did get cast, right, and this before we even saw the movie, when they were talking about casting, when it was in production, and then they released that Finn is going to be one of the characters, and he was holding there's a picture of him holding the lightsaber. He did receive a lot of racist comments, like a lot, right? Like I saw them myself. So like I'm like, okay, yeah, this is some racist shit. And I don't mean like lore stuff and it was like DI wasn't even a word back then, right?
Or was it from like the same 5 wackos on the net?
But that's sure they weren't black people themselves just trying to stir
no, that's
shit
what I'm
up
saying.
too.
No, I mean it was some straight up racist shit. But here's the thing. The problem with that is, who's to say those were Star Wars fans?
Right, just could have been.
Those could have just been racist assholes who were fucking, who don't even care for Star Wars, but wanted a reason, to troll or to shit on this guy, right? So the fact that he made this comment about Star Wars fans, right? Like, it's like I don't think he sees the difference between someone trolling and actual fans of Star Wars, right?
Gotcha.
And I think just because they brought up certain things about Star Wars, he assumed that they were fans, right? So he's not separating the assholes from the actual fans, and I think he kind of just thought they were all kind of lumped together.
Gotcha.
So that's the problem. I mean,
because he made a couple of statements. I want to play this now.
I was gonna say I have the actual clip here, unless you
okay, yeah, put it up there.
Yeah,
they're pandering. Let me tell you, Star Wars always had the vibe of being in the most whitest elite space. Like, this franchise is so white that it's like a black person existing in that was something. And you can always tell it's something when some Star Wars fans try to say, well, we had Lando Calrissian and had Samuel L. Jackson. It's like telling me how many cookie chips are on the cookie dough. I'm like, bro, they just scattered that in there, bro. They're okay with us playing the best friend. But once we touch their heroes, once we lead, once we trailblaze, it's like, oh my God, it's just a bit too much.
Yeah, I think
that's where I call this bullshit out. Because,
that's
there was plenty of us that were like, no, we're interested in this character. We want to see where it goes. We even said he got done dirty. Right?
That's a bad call.
I think a fucking janitor.
I think the biggest problem is that he's not blaming who he should be blaming, which is Disney.
There you go.
Exactly
Disney
my point.
Disney, all this shit.
They bent
we didn't
the
write
knee.
the shit. Yeah.
And they bent the knee to China. You remember what they did to him in the posters?
Right. I mean, you want to talk about racist? Disney's fucking racist as shit.
Yeah. They put him in the back of the bus.
He did call him out he did call him out like 2 years ago, and even Kathleen Kennedy herself had to go through a struggle session with him. But now all of a sudden he's gone 180, and instead of blaming Disney, he's blaming the fans. It's like, we didn't write the shit.
Yeah, and
right?
you know what? And for me, it's kind of a weird for it to come out of nowhere, really. Like why even bring this up now in 2025? You know what I mean? Like,
what do you think? You think he's up for something?
I can tell you why.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. That's why. But
here's the thing. I think what could be happening is maybe he made nice with Disney. Maybe they promised him something like a role.
Ray movie. Sorry.
Go do penance. Go say this.
No, so I mean, basically, kind of like as a hey, we know we screwed you over here, but we're willing to make
somebody to scream Ray in the Ray movie.
We're willing to make up with you here if you just kind of like lay off the Disney talk, and they probably offered him some kind of deal.
Gotcha. That makes sense, but that's how you lose fans. Cool, you make nice with the studio, but then you lose fans who refuse to show up for you. So then for the studio,
I guarantee you, he got an offer to be in that fucking Ray movie. I'm not kidding.
No, I agree. Right. I think that's what happened. They offered him
how much
deal.
she got paid for that. You can only imagine how much he's like, I don't think I want to do this, bruv. And then they showed him the check, and he's like, what did I just say? Forget all that shit. I'll be there.
Yeah.
I used to have a good deal amount of respect from when I watched his first film, the British one, the Block one.
Because it doesn't make sense.
On the block,
Attack the Block.
Attack the Block. Yep.
Oh, that was a great film. That was man, that was a great film. No, because it doesn't make sense for him to even be bringing this up right now, unless Disney offered him a deal, and they said to hey, maybe direct some anger towards the racist bigots out there, and not from us. and we give you this deal, and it all smells fishy to me, man.
Does, especially coming out at a time when Snow White just got put to sleep by Jason Statham.
Yeah,
that had to hurt. How long do y'all think it's going to stay in the theaters? Just
not long. But you know what? Though I said that about Mufasa, and I was wrong, so I don't know.
Yeah, but I think there's a deal worked out with Working Man, though. Or what are you talking about, Snow White or Working Man?
I'm talking about Snow White because it got hit third last weekend. This weekend is going to drop to 7.
It'll get pulled this next weekend here.
I don't know, man. I said that about Mufasa, though. Like, I don't know.
Because what do we have coming up? Minecraft. It's going to bury everything.
Oh, dude, Minecraft is getting some terrible reviews, man. And I mean by actual critics. Like, surprisingly, the critics are being very honest and saying Minecraft is terrible.
Well, of course they would about this.
It might be the worst movie of the year.
Come on. Really?
Dude, I'm hearing it.
Isn't it the biggest selling game of all time?
It might be worse than Snow White.
Wow. Excuse me. That was loud. The word. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, Jack Black, I got to tell you, I'm sick of Jack Black. I only like his Stretchy Pants movie, Nacho Libre. After
everybody's sick of Jack Black, man. He's just so
shoved himself.
He's playing the same character. He's been playing the same character for the past 10 years.
It's Jack Black.
Well, this is just a Jumanji ripoff at the end of the day, anyway.
Right.
Yeah, basically it is. I mean, it's the same story.
The only character that I've seen him stretch was in Tropic Thunder. Kind of, yeah. I liked him in Tropic Thunder and Nacho Libre.
I used to like him,
movie, man.
Yeah,
I used to like him, but then he just, he went the way of most of these guys. But anyhow, I'm not surprised. Minecraft is critic proof, though. It's all about whether the kids want to see it or not, whether the kids drag their parents to see it.
That's true. That's very true.
That's what's going to be the true bellwether of this film, because it's not made for us. It's not made for adults.
Yeah. And Minecraft is a huge IP.
That's what I just said. It's supposed to be the best-selling game of all time, unless I'm wrong.
No, you might be. It's up there for sure. It's up there.
They said the audience, when I was reading into it, because we were going to talk about it today, but I was like, maybe not. It said its audience is from 15 to 25. Like that's the
younger. I think younger, man. Like
really younger than that. That's what they were saying. And and Variety was like, 15 to 25, this sweet spot, and so then they have to drag all their parents with them.
Yeah, no, this is like little kids are gonna probably be really into it, but especially if you look at the trailers. I mean, it's geared towards kids, obviously, but all the critics are just trashing it.
I haven't played it yet. Oh, you should play it. You haven't lived unless you killed. I guess I'll check that out. I'll tell you one thing that keeps. I don't know who the hell it's made for anymore. They released this a couple of hours ago.
That first thing was an insult to all Star Trek fans everywhere.
I know, Hunter.
I'm sorry. What is this?
Star Trek Strange Worlds, New Worlds Season 3.
I didn't even know there was a season 1.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a season 1.
No, but you know what I don't even know what that first bit has to do with the show, but I know what it's trying to say. Go back to where it's all the retro futurism.
Right.
Because we've all been saying for a while, you can retro futurize Star Trek and still make it work and look cool. This is them saying, no, you can't.
Right.
That's because they did a fucking satire of it, you dumbasses.
Right, except they did it in what, J.J. Abrams' universe? I haven't seen any of Star Trek Strange, except for the first episode of the first season after RMB told me about it. And then I was like, what did you recommend? He's like, I didn't recommend it. I said, check it out and see what you think of it.
Right.
It was.
I watched the first season of Discovery and I was done with all of the new Star Trek. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I don't need Star Trek anymore.
The only Star Trek I've seen in the last few years was Picard season 3. Everything else to me.
See, you know what's funny is I did watch that. And I loved it, and I almost don't even consider it part of like the new Star Trek.
No, it isn't. It's like its own pocket,
its own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the guy who did it, Terry Matalas, loves Star Trek, and you could tell. I mean, the shots, the relationships, everything. I was like, that's Star Trek.
Dude, the fact that he tapped into the woke mind virus in the way that he did it was genius.
I'm still shocked they didn't why Paramount didn't get him to do Star Trek Legacy, because that would have been a winner. Not this crap, Star Trek Strange.
Stupid, man.
They tried, but Kurtzman came in and cock-blocked it from what everybody has heard.
How can you cock-block a success? It succeeded. It was their biggest hit.
When you're the boss and you don't want to be outshined?
Oh,
Like,
dude, yeah,
wouldn't you take
Hollywood
credit?
Eddie, man.
Right. Wouldn't you take credit? You're the boss who hired the guy who made a hit. Aren't you the guy who made the hit then? Like that would seem to be how it would work, I thought. Like, look
Yeah,
what I did.
you would think, but if Entourage has taught me anything, man, it's Hollywood is petty.
Yeah. Great series. Great series.
I love that show.
Eric K, King of the Mods for $10. The fans would have loved a Stormtrooper turning his back on the Order. Hell yeah, see, that's an original idea. Finding out he has the Force, trained by Luke, fights fake Vader and his evil concubine, Rey. That would have been great. See, that would have been interesting. Rey actually falls to the dark side. It's up to Finn. He gets trained by Luke. Yes, that's a hero's journey. That would have been beautiful. That would have been beautiful. Ace Hanlon, member for 2 months. Star Trek Strange New Worlds is catnip for normies. It's awful. Like I said, I only watched one episode, and you're right, Ace. And I saw one episode of Discovery.
And it's just Trek enough for those, and I mean die-hard Trekkies. You know, the ones that you'll say, look, it says Star Trek on it, and sell them a piece of shit. Like literal piece of shit. You know, just because you sketch Star Trek in a turd, you know, they'll buy it. Like that's basically all it's made for at this point is people like that and the woke folk. What little audience they've managed to pull in with this woke crap, which I doubt is much.
And the thing is the woke, as we've seen in many other aspects, from television to movies, they do not spend money. They bitch online, but they don't really spend money or watch. Yeah.
The proof is in the pudding with the last few weeks of movies, right?
Right. If they did, The Acolyte would have been a hit. It just wasn't. What is this?
You know, Mr. Scott, we make a pretty good team.
So not interested. So dead. It's like Doctor Who. They were talking about the new season.
Oh, don't even get me started with Doctor Who, man. Like giving that show up for me was rough, man. Because I was a huge fan.
You and me both. You and me both.
I didn't watch anything after Capaldi though.
Yeah, Capaldi is where I stopped. Nope. I did watch one episode with Jodie Whittaker just to check it out. And I just felt I was being preached at the entire time. I don't know.
You know, I could tell by her outfit it was going to be like preachy and woke. I was like, I'm good.
Right. I really had faith at Russell T Davies because he made some of the best modern Who.
Yeah, but he lost his mind, just like fucking, what was that other asshole, Eric Kripke? Like,
oh my God.
They've lost their fucking minds, dude. Like they have TDS so bad that they will never make, oh yeah, they'll never make anything enjoyable again.
But is it TDS or was that who they always were and they just had a mask and they felt that they hit a place? Because it's odd how they could create such groundbreaking entertainment and then just take a left turn. It's like,
dude, you'd be surprised what TDS does to people, man. Like it's wild.
Even Russell T Davies in the UK.
Well, I mean, he's very woke. You know what I mean? So he's anything that's like, you know, the opposite of woke, he's against.
Well, now the new assistant for Doctor Who says this, because they've been getting a lot of criticism the last 24, 40 hours, as always, about how woke it is, how Davis made it woke. It's all woke. And so she says, woke just means inclusive, progressive, and that you care about people, she said. And as far as I know, the core of Doctor Who is kindness, love, and doing the right thing. They destroyed it for nothing.
This is a new I've noticed this, and we actually have a video that if it hasn't dropped already, it's going to soon.
Okay.
Actually, I think it just dropped about 15 minutes ago. Like there's this new rebranding of woke. Now, this isn't specifically brought up this way in the video, but this is kind of my take on it.
Right.
And I've noticed this too, because you've had Jane Fonda and all these other people coming out saying, you know, all woke is giving a shit.
Right.
Like, what is wrong with just being empathetic and caring about people? So they're like trying to rebrand woke as this now. It's like, yeah, maybe at its core initial idea, that was what you were trying to present it as.
Right.
But guess what? We have those glasses now from They Live, right? We see through the bullshit, right? We see what it really means, right? We've seen what BLM does, right? We've seen what the Me Too movement does, right? We've seen what equity actually is. We've seen what DEI has gotten us, planes falling out the fucking sky.
Yeah. It's a nightmare.
You can't keep fucking tricking us any longer and expecting us to go, okay, you're right. We're sorry. We're just being assholes. No, fuck you. We're going to be an asshole then. That's why we said, if me not wanting to date someone who used to be a man, who now is LARPing as a woman because they got their dick chopped off, if that makes me a transphobe, then so fucking be it. If it makes me an asshole, then I'm an asshole.
Well, I'm going to bring up something since you brought that. I was going to show you all the trailer from Mobland, Guy Ritchie's Mobland with Tom Hardy and Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren. I saw it the other day. If you haven't checked out the series, phenomenal. Dante, if you haven't seen it, Tom?
Haven't seen it.
It's amazing. It's Guy Ritchie.
Which one is this?
Mobland with Tom Hardy and Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren.
I know what it is, though, but yeah.
Phenomenal. But since we're talking about woke, right before the show, probably about 30 minutes before the show, this article popped up and then a video popped up and I went and started digging into it. I almost started the whole program with this because I'm just furious about it. Okay, I'm going to set the scene. Take a dude right now, Dante, take a guy who's in sports, fails in every sport he's in, loses, goes to fencing, loses. How is he now a winner? What would he have to do? He decides to switch brands. Well, a heroic woman about 72 hours ago, went to a fencing match, college fencing match, and she decided not to participate in this fucking cult of crazy. The woman is on the right. So what she decided to do was to take a knee for every part of the match. What do you think they did to her?
Oh, dude,
probably disqualified her. Or some
they probably just banned her from the sport at this point because that's what they do. If you don't completely give in, they'll ruin your career.
Yeah, this is what's horrible. So, okay, female fencer booted from tournament after refusing to compete against male opponent. This is the opponent. A female fencer was disqualified from a tournament in Maryland this past weekend after she took a knee and refused to compete against a transgender identifying male opponent.
Good.
Redmond Sullivan, who is male and identifies as transgender, was allowed to participate in the female tournament per USA fencing rules. The organization confirmed to the Daily Wire. Sullivan formerly competed with males and quickly won the top prize at Connecticut Division Junior Olympic qualifiers last year. After what? Switching to female fencing. When I was digging in on this individual, he lost everything he had ever participated in: fencing, soccer, just jumping from sport to sport. So then he decided, I'm going to try out female fencing. Sullivan's female opponent, a young woman from the Fencing Academy of Philadelphia, refused to compete against the male and was presented with a black card, meaning she was disqualified from the entire event. And here we go down. The Daily Wire asked Brian Wendell, the director of communications for USA Fencing, why the female fencer, who's been identified as Stephanie Turner, was not merely presented with a loss for the forfeited bout, but instead she was kicked out of the tournament. In the case of Stephanie Turner, her disqualification was not related to any personal statement, but was merely the direct result of her decision to decline to fence an eligible opponent, which the FI rules clearly prohibit. I think she's a bloody hero.
Yeah, good for her.
She's like, I'm not going to be pushed aside anymore. Women exist. This is a women's sport. This is the women's league. It's like we keep moving forward and people want to keep dragging us back. It angers me to no end. $10. We already did that one. Thank you, Eric K. Michael S. Archer for $20. What kind of tips can you guys give me for making my YouTube channel successful? By the way, have pals reading and spelling, but I do have text or speech. I use Archer and Mosley, ENTMT Sports News.
I'll let you know when I'm successful.
Do you like cats? Do you have lots of cats? If you have cats, film your cats. People like cats.
I will tell you the same thing that's been keeping me going and why I was like, stick to what you love. It's what Nerdrotica told me. It's the same thing you told me. Find something that you love, be passionate about it. But it's a ton of work. Most people don't tell you this because they either are embarrassed to say it, they don't want to say it. There's a lot of work if you want to succeed at anything in life. I mean, Dante, Tom, y'all know this. Like anything you want to succeed, you have to bust your ass. It's not flick on the camera.
The misconception is like, it's easy. You turn on the camera, you make a few jokes, and all the money starts pouring in. It's like, no, that's not how this works.
And let me tell you now, the competition is greater than ever before because you have the mainstream media is dying.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of them. You have a lot of people who are moving to social media, YouTube, TikTok, X, and they're up in their game.
Yeah.
So you have to bring, you know what? Robert Maher Burnett.
Even Bill Maher has a YouTube channel now. Like, what the fuck? I mean,
Bill Maher. You have to bring all of you to it. Be who you are yourself, because let me tell you, the audience will always know when you're bullshitting. In the back of their mind, if they don't call you out, authenticity, authenticity, authenticity. That's how you succeed and work your butt off. I don't know if that helps you. That's what I've stuck by, and I think that's what in any aspect, but especially when you have a camera in front of you, people know if you're trying to pull a fast one on them. And trust is something you cannot buy, can't barter with, just have to be you.
Yeah.
And I wish you all the luck.
The only thing I'll tack on to that is, man, just consistency.
There you
go. Put shit out all the time. Even when you don't feel like it, talk about the things that you want to talk about. Don't worry about, what everyone else is talking about. Don't try to copy other people's shit, because that doesn't work. Now, you could copy some of the things that they do or mimic because, maybe they're doing something that's successful that, you can apply to your own originality. But for the most part, just stick to what you know and what you like to talk about. Like, that's the biggest thing. If you don't like it and you're doing it purely for the views, it's not going to work out.
It's not long, especially people are going to figure it out. That's why I always go to what Robert Burnett says. Authenticity is the currency of the realm. And I believe authenticity today is the only true rebellion. It's how you tell the truth to everybody in a time of lies. But Dante said it perfectly.
Also, one more thing to do too, man. Get familiar with the people on YouTube that you would want to work with, and as you're building your channel, try to be a guest on theirs. Like get some exposure that way. It's you got to start with the baby stuff though first, man. Just figure out what you want to talk about and go from there.
Yeah,
these guys have said most of the stuff I would make, especially if you're into something niche. Yep. Right, like if you're into entertainment, sports, news, that's cool, but so are a lot of other people.
Yes,
and that's the thing. But I mean, if you're into crocheting or something like that, you have no idea. The sky's the limit, because not everybody's talking about that, and you'd be surprised. But otherwise, how good are you at sucking dick? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, of course. On that
it's to talk about niche. I told you.
That's Hollywood, Tom. That's Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, not YouTube.
We're
YouTube hasn't
Hollywood
gotten
now, baby.
YouTube hasn't gotten there yet. No. Like I told you, talk about niche, though. Tom is right. I checked out that guy when I went down the rabbit hole, the Hoof Doctor. He's got like millions. I was like,
the what?
The Hoof Doctor. Hoof. All he does is he goes to cows. He shaves their hooves or treats their hooves.
I was only half kidding about the kitty thing, because like, you'd be surprised. First of all, animal channels, stuff to do with like that kind of stuff generally does very well. I mean, obviously, like if there's something you're like a hobby that you do, like the first thing I would do is check and see how many other channels there are that do it. And if there's not a bunch, definitely jump into that train.
And don't chase
take you a little while. Yeah, it may take you a while to find an audience, but sooner or later, the audience will find you. Right. And it is a lot of hard work. And I thought I told George that, but maybe I didn't.
No, you said do what you love. Build it and they will come.
Yeah, it is a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hours. I mean, I'm sure, I figured maybe if I didn't, it's just because I'm sure you already got the impression that I don't sleep. So,
I know. And say goodbye to a normal everyday life. That's again, if you want to really succeed at it, unless you're in something so rare and niche. Most of us don't sleep most of the time. Your relationships, your YouTube comes first. It's a business, but it's a passion that you have. So you're combining what you love with a business. You know that old thing where they say, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. That is true, except you don't sleep. And that becomes the focus of everything.
Yeah,
that's it. Skis Spivak Esquire's back again. Good to see you, good sir. He gifted 10 George the Giant Slayer memberships. Way to go. God bless you. Thank you. Everybody, please go. Thank you. And then we got Ace Hanlon, member for 2 months. Star Trek. I did that one, but I want to say it again. Star Trek Strange New Worlds is catnip for normies. It's awful. I had to say that again because it's true. The other thing, wouldn't you recommend, I'd say this last thing, wouldn't you recommend Dante and Tom to start streaming right when you start? Like out of the jump? Not wait.
Well, maybe no. Actually, I won't. Because here's the thing: streaming is a whole other animal, man. And when you're not used to like the equipment, the cameras, the mics,
you can make a lot of mistakes.
You can completely fuck yourself.
But you don't think you should do that when you're in your channel?
You could do some test stuff, maybe. Like what I would do, and this is what I did a lot. And believe it or not, I know it's really weird to think about this, but before I even was part of Midnight's Edge, while I was working my way up through, and I got a channel that was big enough that Andre noticed me in the first place. Like I was a lot of times, a lot of that shit got scrapped because I'd listen to it myself when we'd only have like 1 or 2 views on there. And I would be so embarrassed that I would just delete the son of a bitch. Right. Because like you listen to yourself and you're like, holy shit, that's what I sound like. Even though I've been in radio and all this other stuff before, and I'm prepared for that kind of stuff. You're not prepared for sitting there and listening to yourself talk for like an hour.
Right.
And then once you start going back and start with videos and stuff like that, I realized it was a big job of just going through and editing out all the stuff that I was noticing that was like the little intricacies. Well, I can't even say that word right now. See, that would be something to get edited out in a video, but you can't edit it out in live.
No.
But it's, I'm already known as somebody who can't talk for shit. So
yeah, but I think that's also what makes the lives so unique. It's because it's genuine. You do have that. It's not the scripted quote unquote live fest of CNN.
Yeah, but what Verbal's getting at is not everybody's good at the.
I got you.
Verbal back and forth stuff. Yeah,
because there's a lot of technical things you have to do also when you're streaming at the same time while you're talking, right? So unless you know how to do that, like it could be intimidating, right? So I'm saying start with a couple of videos. Just start with just like 5-minute videos, right? Don't go any further than 5 minutes. Just make a 5-minute video of yourself talking about a topic you love. Look how you come off on screen. Like listen to how your voice sounds, right? Do all these things, right? My first couple of videos, man, like I cringed so hard. I think I got an ulcer. They were so bad. Like I was so embarrassed. And luckily, no one saw them because no one knew who I was. So, I like Tom, I took them off, I deleted them. But but here's the thing. I learned from them. I was like, oh, okay, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that,
Absolutely,
but I should do this. And you could do that with videos, right? And once you get comfortable, like if you make a 5-minute video you're comfortable with, do a few more, and then do like a 20-minute live, right? Just to get familiar with
a rant video
how live
sometimes.
Works.
And I don't mean by ranting necessarily, but I mean just going off the cuff.
Yeah, just go off the cuff. Do it live, man. See how the chat works, right? Like do these little things here and there, but yeah, don't start with live.
I gotta show y'all this since you talked about that, okay? Because I guess I should delete this one day. I still have my first videos up, and they're embarrassing. I looked at them last week, and I was like,
I deleted all mine, man. I was like,
you're smart. I did not do that. Hold on. I'm going to show everybody because they haven't seen them just for a second, so everybody can have a good laugh. I cannot believe this is my first video. Welcome. My name is George Molo, and this is the premiere episode of George the Giant Slayer. Before I dive into the latest political and entertainment news and then jump back to the latest pop cultural events, I wanted to share a little bit about myself. Now, some of you may already know. Boring. and Guy DeVry, a software entrepreneur. On Shatner's roaring, it sucks. It was horrible. I can't stand it.
You're actually better than most when you first get
Yeah,
started.
George, you were tons better than I was in my first.
You actually have this. You must have done a lot of public speaking, obviously, and I know you have.
Yeah,
because it shows in from the start. Where you had that up on every one of us from the jump, right?
Okay,
Like you were
me,
able
it's
to.
horrible. Okay, I appreciate it.
No, man. Like you've got a lot more panache and charisma as far as addressing the camera and talking to people, and you could pull people in.
I used to
really had to deal with audiences before. Yeah,
Dude, my first video, I think I said probably like 500
oh
times.
God, yes.
That's too funny.
We actually had once for one of the interviews we did early on, just as a joke. Once I collected all the ums in a separate file.
Yes, I did age.
The video or the audio ran for fucking 10 minutes. It's just like
Jesus.
Everybody's Yeah, it's just like
I told you I used to do movie reviews when I was 15 till I was 14 till I was 17 for this local station, but that was years ago. Somebody said, "Oh, it's Man of War," saying that I aged like a two-term president. I did age. I had black hair, black beard.
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah.
Wow, that's
I understand the presidency thing now, and I can't imagine having that weight on my shoulders. And I can see why they age so fast in the White House now. Yeah.
Yeah, I barely slept the first year. Here is Mobland that I wanted to show you all to kind of like cleanse the palate from Strange New Worlds. The first episode.
It's on Paramount. I got to give Paramount credit as far as most of their programming, especially because of Taylor Sheridan, but add in, bringing back Beavis and Butthead and some of the other stuff they've done, The Offer. Well, they've actually had some pretty good shit.
They have.
Name's Conrad Harrigan, family man.
Stones
and if you cross my family, well, you'd better pray.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
We shake the right hands, break the wrong ones.
I think we have a situation developing.
We don't ask, we take. And when someone forgets their place, I've got a man for that.
Problem solved.
Pleased to meet you.
My wife's the brains behind the charm. She holds me together. That makes her the most dangerous of all.
The second you lose trust in me is the second this family turns to dust.
Hope you get my name.
So, are you with us or are you against us?
I was fussing you is the nature of my game.
Because power is a hungry thing. And there's always a rat bastard looking to take what's mine.
I love it. I watched the first episode. I recommend.
Oh, it's already out?
Yeah, the first episode's already out Sunday night. It's brilliant. Tom Hardy is mesmerizing, and Pierce Brosnan. Well, you can't say enough about Pierce Brosnan. He's at his best, except he's aged a lot. I don't know if it's for this role. He doesn't look like that regularly, but damn.
I mean, he's an older guy now.
He's old.
I thought he was 60, 65, 66. I didn't.
He was one of the oldest ones to take Bond on. I remember that because he was already, mid 40s or whatever by the time he took that on, early 40s. Yeah. I think it was.
He didn't look this way when he just did the Black Adam movie. What was it, 3 years ago?
I mean, yeah, some of it might be makeup, yeah, one way or the other.
Yeah, and Helen Mirren is phenomenal again in this. That the cast is stellar.
Oh, I mean, it's a great cast, man. And Tom Hardy, man, like I really don't like the Venom movies, but he's even good in that. Even though I don't care for it, Tom Hardy's just always good.
Mm-hmm. I'm sad that we never got to see season 2 of Taboo. If you've never checked it out, Tom Hardy, it's one of his best series ever. Taboo.
Oh, I never caught it.
It's still available. It was the one that I believe he wrote with his dad, and he produced it, funded it. Phenomenal. Bronson, brilliant role, but Taboo.
See, Tom Hardy's also one of those guys who I think could be bigger than he really is, but I think he's very specific in the roles that he takes.
Yeah, because I don't think he's chasing stardom. You know what I'm saying? I think he's like I love what I love, and he picks his roles. Yep. I remember him in Layer Cake. Have you ever seen how little he was in Layer
I
Cake?
love Layer Cake. Oh, great film. Even though I'm not a big Daniel Craig fan these days, Layer Cake was amazing.
It was, but I couldn't imagine when you see Tom Hardy in that. He's tiny. He's like this.
Oh, he's not a tall man. He's
no, but I mean, he's skinny, tiny, small. It's not
right. Which is hilarious. Like that he actually played Bane, who was
I know.
Bane's supposed to be like 6'7", you know.
Yeah.
400 pounds.
It is crazy. Let's finish this up.
In Taliban.
Oh, no. When combat gets going, I mean, like really going. You're gonna wish you was.
Mobland, new series streaming March 30th.
This is one I love binging and hate the fact that you have to wait week after week. It's like when I was watching Snow White a week ago, because I just finished my video, which has part of my review in it, which, spoiler alert, I'm like, everybody knows the story of Snow White, so the only review you need to hear are the facts. Snow White sucks. I'll tell you all the rest of the news. But I'm sitting here watching it, Dante. And, you know, when you get to the magic mirror scene, I was like, okay, I'm like, mirror, mirror. I started thinking to myself, having this imaginary conversation, like, mirror, mirror on the wall, please tell me there's another episode tonight of 1923 on with It's Important, Helen Mirren. Nope. Damn it. What about on Netflix? And I've already seen Cobra Kai twice. No. Okay, so I'm stuck with fucking Snow White. Yep. I was trying to find any reason to get out of the theater.
Yeah, it's you know what I mean. For me, honestly, like I'm not going to say I'm tired of. Well, I am tired of talking about Snow White, but only because I feel like we've exhausted the well. You know what it feels like? I feel like I've been talking about Snow White for 3 years now.
Yep,
3 years of talking about this girl and this horrible film, and it's like I saw it. You know, I got my catharsis. I'm done. Yeah. I can now just move on with my life and never talk about it again.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to talk about it. I was saying how I felt it was just because every day there's new news about it. And I was talking with
the only thing
that
surprised me, if I'm being honest, the only thing that surprised me about Snow White, or the news about it anyway, right now, is that there are still outlets still trying to gaslight people into thinking this movie's successful.
I know they're trying. You had okay. I promised someone I wouldn't talk about Snow White, so we're only going to address the news, not talking about the movie. You saw Pedro Pascal, what he did. He called her an icon, and then this is brilliant. Again, it's like I feel he always wants to inject himself in these conversations. When anyone calls something woke or trash, he's like he wants to jump in. Yeah.
Well, look, it's like I said about Pedro Pascal. He is Disney's man. He is Disney's company man, right? He will toe the line. And that's why they will always cast him in everything. So him reaching out to Rachel Zegler isn't really a big surprise to me.
Really? But then you had Danica Patrick slammer, and then you had Yoko Ono's son, who was actually pretty interesting because he put out a critique, which was basically, I think she's beautiful. I think she's great. I think she has a big mouth. I think the film sucks. So he was trying to he was just laying it out straight, because people were like, "Oh, are you for her?" He's like, "Look, man, just got to be unbiased about this. I think she has this, and this, but I think she's got a big mouth, and the movie sucks."
Well, because at the end of the day, being honest, man, Rachel Zegler isn't ugly. What she is a very mid girl whose personality makes her more unattractive.
But see, that's the thing.
That's the problem. Like, if she were super beautiful and had that mouth, yeah, you can kind of play around with that. Like, okay, if she just shut up, she'd be okay. But she's already mid to start with, and then you got the mouth. So
yeah, but you know how they say that inner beauty makes you more beautiful? When you're that ugly on the inside, I don't care how good looking you are, it turns people off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It just turns people off. And talking about being ugly, we have this jackass who's back again. Always stirring the pot.
something led my hand to pick up the remote and turn on my television. Sorry. And watch Ken Burns' famous miniseries. And boy, you can see now that we are in a pre-Civil War culture now. When they describe things back then politically, there were profound differences, of course, in terms of just history and age, and what life was like back then, and cotton and slavery and Lincoln. And
so he's saying that we are in a time of slavery, in a pre-Civil War era.
That's why I can't feel bad for this man at all, because he's such an idiot.
Does anybody own slaves today, or is anybody slave in the United States? I know.
Pretty much anybody who's hiring a bunch of illegals at slave wages, yeah.
So, yep, serfs, indentured servants, yep, they're about the closest. But it's this stuff that he tries to feed. And I'm like, who is he trying? Is he marketing himself to Hollywood? Is that what this is for? Is it for a specific audience?
This is him begging for forgiveness.
Gotcha. We'll go to here. It says it again.
In order for us to get anywhere, it doesn't seem likely right now. And watching this show really reminded me of how we are in a very similar state now, in a pre-Civil War culture, in a pre-Civil War environment.
It just tells me he's never cracked a book. He's talking about watching the Civil War movie from Ken Burns, and he's like, everybody should watch it because we're living in a pre-Civil War era.
This is his virtual signal, man. I mean, he's trying to get back into the good graces of Hollywood. It's pathetic.
Yeah. And then there's a post you actually shared that I wanted us to go over. Here we go. And my camera crap, so I'll take a drink. Here we go. You know this post.
Oh, I
what
posted.
has brought me the most joy? The most joy. It's getting out of the shower and the towels around your waist and you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're just like, there I am. I'm not having all these little moments that used to be.
God, what is wrong with
just
her
being
voice
in a
now that she's
t-shirt?
doing all that testosterone. Jesus Christ.
But do you see how happy she is?
Oh, she's so fucking happy. And I love this question because, like, men don't answer questions like this. We know the answer, what makes us happy right away.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Boobs,
football.
booze.
Boobs, beer, you name it. Whatever it is, we have one and boom, it's there. It's out right now. We don't have to think about it.
For me, it's the three B's: booze, bud, and
Exactly.
and boobs.
And bud.
Men know the answer.
Yeah. Bud, booze,
bud. Buzz, boob,
We don't have to
buzz.
sit there and ponder on it like for 12 years. Like a woman.
That's what makes me happy. So see, that's the thing though. I mean, like, she talks about all this trans joy, right?
Right.
Does she look happy to you?
She doesn't look happy. She looks like she's constipated and needs an enema.
She
all
looks
the
like
time.
her AIDS got cancer.
She just looks.
But here's the crazier thing. I've never seen her look happy.
Oh, she used to look.
I mean, since she transitioned, I mean.
Correct. She used to smile, whether that was real, phony, fake, whatever you want to call it. But she used to actually, in pictures, look happy.
Hey, it looked real enough when she used to smile. But yeah, I haven't seen her smile since the transition.
And nobody has seemed to pull her aside to explain to her that this isn't how dudes talk.
I know, right? That's kind of
She's
what I
not
was
a
getting
dude.
at.
I know that. But
And I mean, if she really wants to be a dude, first of all, she's got to give that Oscar back, right?
Right.
Second,
Yep.
she's not going to be working as much anymore because, white dudes can't be in movies now.
Right, but again, Christopher Nolan has cast her in Odysseus.
Christopher Nolan's got Norse ships in that fucking thing. Did you see that thing?
No.
I haven't heard
genius.
anything about the movie yet.
Fucking genius.
A friend of mine who does ADR has seen them building the ships on in the set wherever the hell they build them. He was I was waiting for him to send me some pictures. So
If he was smart, he would give her the smallest role that he has on script.
the only role I think he could possibly give her is of one of the gods, because they're gods; they can do anything.
Right.
I mean, not a Zeus or an Athena or a. Yeah, I don't know. That it's just a little bit crazy for me. I don't know what Nolan is thinking there. If he's smoking something.
The thing about it though is she's not convincing anybody she's happy.
No, but we see that all the time. We see that all the time. And then there was this report that I saw Star Wars Girl put out. I have not checked it out, so I do not know if it's real. But first, I'm going to show you this clip of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I've had my ups and downs, my fair share of bumpy roads and heavy winds. That's what made me what I am today. Now I stand here before you. What you see is a body crafted to perfection, a pair of legs engineered to defy the laws of physics, and a mindset to master the most epic.
Yep, that was a commercial he did, except 6 hours ago, this report just came out. I don't know if it's real. People Magazine is reporting, and several other outlets. Jean-Claude Van Damme accused of having sexual relations with trafficked Romanian women, and they're saying he trafficked children. That's
I saw that article before I hopped on. I don't know how true it is, so I'm not going to speak on it too much.
Neither am I. I wanted to bring it up because
it isn't
it's
people,
hard.
so like, yeah, so
it's hard for me to accept that.
I mean, it's really weird. I think what was funny though about Anna's post was is that she just started watching Van Damme movies because she's never saw one before, and just as she started, this news comes out. So
it's like, come on, you're ruining it for me? How are you doing this? Yeah, basically. Yeah.
I mean, look, man, I at this point, I don't know what's going on with Hollywood people anymore. I really don't. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm questioning it because as Aaron Sharman, sorry, is probably what it's supposed to be. As Aaron says in the chat there, he says, so prostitutes? Yeah, it's like, okay, unless it's like underage girls who are being trafficked against their will, because that's the thing, is the way it's worded,
right,
compared to what they're saying is what happened. Like, it's like, to me, it sounds like he just had a prostitute come over. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I'm not too up to speed on it yet. I just heard about it myself here a little bit ago. So yeah, it's
and then,
fresh news.
So I'm going to keep digging in on that, see what I can find out. I don't believe it. Hey, especially he's been a little bit more conservative than most.
Criminal complaint was filed against the actor.
But if he's we'll find out in the end. If he's actually done it, we'll report it here and we'll talk about it. But not enough news has come out, not enough facts. And then you had this mother who's been making news because of her stand.
Hi, I'm Kaylee Weichbrot. I'm a mom of 2 in Fairfax County. This is my oldest. And my husband and I have a difficult decision to make this fall as he is approaching preschool age, and we are faced with the decision of whether or not we are going to put our child in public school system where Fairfax County has decided to move forward with instituting gender studies in elementary school. Despite having done a study group, a focus group in the community to see if parents even wanted this. And when parents said no, the board voted 16-0 and said we're moving forward anyways. This shows clearly that they see parents not as partners, but as an obstacle for their agenda. And I have a really hard time looking at him and going, here, I'm just going to give you over to people who do not want to partner with me in how you're going to be raised. School and education is a huge part of a child's life. And early childhood is supposed to be filled with exploration and creativity and fun, not debating issues that are for adults to handle. These kinds of topics should be introduced sensitively and by parents who are raising their children with their values, not with an ideology passed down from the top.
100%. Who can disagree with that?
Yeah, she worded it perfectly. Yeah, I don't think anybody could have said it better than that.
And she's hot.
Well, she's a MILF. She's a MILF.
Yeah, she's definitely. Sure. I saw Johnny Skinwalker notice. I was like, yep, he's got a great eye. But really, what's hot is what she's saying, even more than her mind. What she's talking about there is these discussions are up to parents. They shouldn't be at schools. Why? Because that's called programming. I think you would agree with that, Dante.
You know what, man? I have living here in California and having to hear about this shit all the time because California, well, they're not doing it so much anymore now that Gavin Newsom's changed his tune all of a sudden. But for the longest time, they were talking about taking kids away from their parents if they didn't recognize their gender identity. So, I mean, for me, you know, bravo to this woman, first of all. I mean, because fuck those people. And the thing is more parents have to do shit like this, man. Like the school board is a school board. They think they have all this fucking power, but they don't. Like more parents just need to stand up and be like, nah, we put you guys there and we could take you out, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's people just have to stand up for shit, man. They have to stand up. Like the girl with the fencing, right?
Yes.
Like, women especially have to stand up and say, we're not doing this shit. Right. Yeah. And this woman, this mother, God bless her, man.
Yeah, it's exactly like the fencer. She's standing up for her child. The fencer was standing up for herself, and all women. I'm really surprised that I'm not finding more women standing up for women.
The thing that rattles my brain, though, George, if I'm being honest with you, is and especially when you get to a high school level with this shit, is at least in my brain, this plays out like some sort of like ridiculous, funny 80s comedy where the boys pretend to be girls to get into the girls' locker room to see the girls naked, right? Like this is an 80s plot.
I love
like,
that movie.
The plot of an 80s comedy, okay? Like this is Revenge of the Nerds type shit. Like the fact that this is being taken serious, is insane work.
It reminds me of the movie where the girl pretended to be a boy, and then at the end,
just one of the guys. And the whole point of that movie is it finally figures out that it had nothing to do with her being a girl. Is why the story was rejected. It was rejected because it was fucking boring.
Right.
Yes. And by the way, she had nice tits.
Wow, I remember those. Perfect.
Nice by the way, it's okay. She has tits. That was the line he says after they see him kiss. Yeah.
Locked in for life.
I actually love that fucking movie. I unapologetically do. I know it's bad, but it's hilarious.
But she never did anything. Yeah, she never did anything after that. I was like, you don't have to. Just one perfect scene.
Yeah, there's a few chicks who could pull off short hair too.
You wait the entire movie for literally a second and a half scene. It used to come on cable all the time. And it didn't matter what we were doing. I'm like, shut up!
He's fucking right too. We knew exactly when it was coming.
Yeah, you're like,
I remember pausing my Sega game just to go watch that scene, and then coming back to my game.
The very first thing I did.
It's coming up on the scene. Hold up.
Yep, that was it. Because you didn't have DVRs back then. So you're like, okay, it's going to be airing at 4:00. That means I have to be in front of the television at 5:22. You're like,
we knew exactly what point in the film it came in. It's at the party scene. It's when they're arguing.
Yeah. These young kids today, they don't understand the struggle, man.
No.
We didn't have internet porn back then. We had to work for our shit, man.
But you know what?
She had some great fucking tits, though, right? Like, I mean, they were great. A.
But you know what the thing is we had it better because there was mystery to it. There was an innocence to it. Meaning, like, yeah, you're like, look at this hot, beautiful woman, but it wasn't. Hey, guess what? We can go watch Bonnie Blue now. Go blow 1,056. Like that type.
Back then, we were just happy to see tits.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. There's an innocence to it.
Oh, compared to now, yeah.
Of course.
I'm looking back on it as an adult when I mean, as a kid, I didn't really question it too much, but like, you know, seeing it again here a few years back or whatever, it's like, my God, they did a very convincing job of making a very beautiful woman play as a dude convincingly. And when he takes, you know, pops open the shirt and there they are, you know, they did the whole great job of hiding through the whole movie, the boobs. And that one line is perfect when they go, looks like the Karate Kid dresses like, who is it, Prince or something like that? I can't remember.
Wait, wasn't Billy Zabka in that movie?
Yes, Billy
Yeah,
Zabka
he
was in
was.
it on top of it all as the fucking bully. Yeah, basically playing the same role again. But that was the thing. It was like, yeah, she does kind of come off like Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, she does.
Really
There was a mystery, and I think this generation has lost out on that mystery. You're talking about kids who are probably jaded by the time they're 14. Think about what that does to the mind, to the chemistry, to the psychology, to the spirit. As they get older, so many things that are taken away from them.
Well, yeah,
Things
man.
that you would naturally discover.
And I've been saying it for years, man. Like porn was not meant to be consumed like this.
No.
Right? Like back in the day, it was here and there, right?
Yeah,
And it was something you had to seek out. Like you have to go
Well, that's
out
what
of your
made it
way
titillating, yeah.
to find it, right? Like now it's like on your phone.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
The only place it was an everyday thing is those seedy places, those porn shops you don't want to go into.
But,
right?
but
Back in the
again,
day.
you have to seek it out. You have to go out and look for it.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I agree with you. And
Yeah,
it
it had a mystery, an innocence, a specialness, a
yeah.
titillation, good word. But since
But
Dante,
going back really quick to the trans thing,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, even a movie like that, it was done in a way of not trying to promote anything other. It was just like,
Oh.
hey, I'm gonna go undercover and do this thing and try to get my paper sold. And like they weren't trying to like preach a message with it.
Yep, you're 100% right. But you mentioned
Well-
Gruesome Newsome a minute ago, right?
Yeah,
How
and
how
again,
he's back
Newsom
into the
has
middle?
changed his tune all of a sudden.
Right. You know why
Actually,
he's doing that? What?
I just want to say it did have a message. The message at the end was just be happy with who you are.
Yes, that was the message.
Well,
It was-
again, but that was a general message everybody
Yeah.
can understand, right?
Exactly. Well, that used to be the message. Now it's you can be whatever you want to be.
Yeah, no, it's fucking ridiculous.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I
No,
just
no,
wanted
no,
to
no,
get that
yeah.
out before you move on, George. That's all.
No, but yeah, Newsom all of a sudden decided to change his tune. He's trying. Now he's trying to play the middle. He's trying to
know-
say like, boys shouldn't be in girl sports anymore. All of a
found out
sudden,
why.
right?
You know why?
People keep saying he's going to run. I don't think he's going to. I don't think he.
Nope. Look who's next to him again. See her?
Mm.
Kimberly Guilfoyle, his former wife. You know how the Bible says, "Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned." Kimberly Guilfoyle is now advising him again. Remember,
Oh, well, when did that happen?
well, now it's out in the
Probably
last
after some
24
bad drunken night, he fucked up.
No, it was after Junior dumped her. Donald Trump Jr. dumped her 2 months
Wait,
ago.
so she went back to Gavin Newsom?
That's what it. Well, she's advising him now.
'Cause she was with him first, and then she,
Yes.
dropped him and went to Junior.
Yeah,
and now
remember
she's
she was-
back with him.
Yeah, when she was married to
She's
him.
a little snake, is what she is.
She was married to him. Then she flipped from being a liberal Democrat, she said, to seeing the light, and she went to Fox News and became an anchor. Then she started hanging out in term one with Donald Trump Jr. They became an item. We're together for 4 or 5 years, and she became a MAGA booster, big MAGA, was everywhere with Donald Trump Jr., all of them. And then about 8 weeks ago, he broke up with her, and now she's advising Newsom. I found it a little interesting. So
Sounds like a Taylor Sheridan series waiting to happen.
it does, but it looks like she's advising him to run for either he's going to run for Senate or president. That's what I'm saying. I think he's going to go for Senate first. I don't think he has a shot at president right now. Only in California, I think he could get.
Not even California, man. In fact,
You
he's
think?
kind of public
I
enemy
think
number one right now.
I was going to say,
I
think
hope
after
so.
everything, you probably were right. Yeah.
From
Dude,
your
the minute he like changed his tune on trans issues, he became public enemy number one.
In California?
Yeah.
Well, he's just done pissed everybody off now, right? Like you already had the folks that he pissed off, and then the one he's
Right.
trying to win back now, it's not helping him. He's just pissing off.
Oh yeah,
other
they're
folks.
calling him a traitor. They're calling him a phony. They're calling him all kind of shit.
Gotcha. So, yeah, but that's what happens when you flip flop.
Yeah.
And then
That's called being a politician, George.
Right, but it's a flip flop. You're supposed
that was the joke.
Yeah, I know. You're supposed to have what you believe in, stick to it. There's a difference between growth and there's a difference between flip flop. Hey, for 8 years I've been saying, what did he say? For 8 years he said that men should be in women's sports, and all of a sudden 60 days he's been saying, well, no, I never said that women should be. And the Latinx thing, did you check out that video?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my God, he never said Latinx, and they're like going through every single time.
Yeah, and it shows you how full of shit he is.
Well,
Right,
and
but-
that's what politics is all flip flopping. Don't you know that the correct answer for everything in politics is we have an elite team working on that, and I will get back to you on it.
Except the fact is that people like Newsom are operating right there in the 1990s. This is the internet age. The video is out there. The statements are out there. Your posts are out there. You can't run away from it. It's not like the 90s again where you're like, no, I actually didn't say that. You don't have video on it? No, okay, that's it.
That's my point, is they forgot how to sidestep. A lot of these politicians don't know how to be a politician anymore, right? The whole point is you never answer a question. You never actually stand for anything. Why? Because you know that everybody believes and doesn't agree on every subject. So when somebody asks you, especially a very political question, you answer. I was joking, but that's generally the type of answer they used to give back in the day. Like, we have a very elite team looking into it, and I will get back to you on that. Because you never answer the fucking question, or you answer it with something that has absolutely nothing to do with that question. And by the time you get to the end of your sentence, you say something so whatever that they forget what the fucking question was. And that's like the type of guys like JFK and them guys used to be, where they could talk you out of your fucking clothes, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, a politician always just a guy who was better than a used car salesman, because they knew how not to show their cards. Like, they used to be anyway. Now they're just horrible at it. And that's why Donald Trump is president.
Oh, yeah, but you should hear Al Sharpton go off on that.
Oh, there's a politician right there for you.
I'm going to take a few of these super chats to get them out. Aaron Charman, member for 12 months. It's been 1 year, Aaron. Happy anniversary. Thank you for supporting me for a year. That is a beautiful. Ziegler made a bad Snow White. There were better options. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Looks like Aaron wants to be Snow White from that icon there.
The Dead Man for $5. Yesterday, I got into an argument who said it was brave for a man to enter the woman's bathroom in the Florida state capitol. Somebody wanted to go yesterday, got into an argument. Someone who said it was brave for men. Yeah.
They misinterpreted why it would be brave. It would be brave because back in the day, you get your ass beat. That's why it would be considered brave. It would be like, you got some balls to try that shit.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Dragon Master Zero for $5. Question. Do the streaming software like StreamYards, OBS, or Streamlabs allow you to create and edit videos, or just live streaming?
Yes. Actually, yes. It's a more complicated answer than that, but yes. For the most part, they all have some sort of
editing capabilities.
Well, not so much the editing aspect, but at least the recording yourself aspect, where then you can take it into another editor usually and edit it there. But yeah.
Cool. And this is one of the last clips. One more after this, because we're showing one mother how she's fighting for her children. This is Representative Brittany. I had her name down. It's Brittany Peterson out of Colorado. When I watched this clip, it reminded me how many of our politicians today, obviously, they no longer represent the people. They're in it to get famous, to get 5 minutes of love or likes or views. I don't think they give a damn about anything else. She decided to go to the House with her baby to make a point that she wants them to allow the bill for remote voting so she could stay home, even though Congress has a babysitting service that's paid for by taxpayers. It's idiocracy on steroids.
Strong opposition to this rule, which restricts moms and dads from doing their jobs after welcoming a new child. Like so many of our colleagues, it's one of my greatest honors to be a mom. I have 2 little boys, a son named Davis, who's 5, and my little guy here, Sam, who's now 9 weeks old. It's also one of my greatest honors to have been elected by my constituents to represent them in Congress. And I can tell you, after being a mom here and being only the 13th member to have ever given birth while serving in Congress, voting member, I can tell you we have a long ways to go to make this place accessible for young families like mine. When I was pregnant, I couldn't fly towards the end of
Anyway, enough of that. She's full of shit. But do you see how she took her baby there? She goes on to talk about the germs. She couldn't go on a plane. She couldn't hang out in most places because a mother is worried about the germs for her child, yet she takes it to Congress.
Right.
Like, they don't care anymore. Are you finding? I'll make a statement like this. I am finding that most of these politicians now, like Jasmine Crockett, like Brittany Peterson. They just want their 15 minutes of fame. They want to go viral.
That's all they're doing. They don't care. They don't even care about moving up politically. For them, this is all about being viral. That's all it is.
It's
Like
very
they don't have aspirations of going anywhere further in their political career than where they are right now. This is all about, let me set myself up so I have a show when I'm done with all this. That's what this is.
It's really sad when you think of the state we were in. I'm so grateful.
Look, I find both sides of politics, to be whatever, but because I told you guys before, I'm politically homeless. I'm a Ronin, right? I don't belong to a team or a party. But the thing I find crazy with Democrats for me, man, is they're in a sad state right now. Like they don't have any kind of leadership. They don't have any kind of direction. They don't have any kind of conviction about anything. They are just a lost party, man. And it's crazy to watch them just completely unfold like before our eyes. Like they are unraveling.
Well, that's because they keep trying to double and triple down on the insanity. It's like, look at Bill Maher the other day, right? He was invited by the White House to go meet and speak with President Trump. Bill Maher has called him names up, down the block, left and right. Trump was like, hey, why don't you come to the White House? Kid Rock and Bill Maher went to the White House. And Trump had every statement that Bill Maher has ever made against him written down. And he signed it for him and handed it to him. Because it's like, look, we have to find ways to get together, to work together.
I'm kind of glad he's doing this because, like I've said in a while, the only guy of all this mess that I ever felt like had a reason to hate Trump was Bill. Because Bill got sued by him over some stupid fucking shit that it almost makes you wonder if the whole thing wasn't a joke on Trump's part too. Maybe it was. Now in the back of your mind, you think about it. Like, was it just some publicity stunt to do this? I mean,
knowing Trump, it could have been.
That's what I'm thinking at this point, especially after you just told me that, George, because I didn't know that part of it, but I did know they were going to be beaten up. But
yeah, here it is, and it also went the other way. I got one part of it incorrect. Bill Maher brought a list of insults Trump had said about him over the years and handed it to him. Here it is. I just wanted to make it sure. God. You have one reporter reports it one way and the other reporter reports it the other way, so I had to go confirm it again. I do not want to give you all false facts. Here it is.
2015, and he has been relentless, really, ever since.
Yeah, well, Bill, when he showed up at the White House, he had actually brought a list of insults Trump had said about him and gave it to Trump. And what did he do? He signed it, which is very Trumpian. And they laughed and they laughed. Kudos to Maher. He knows this is going to burn whatever bridge that remains with the tolerant left. But he said full steam ahead.
Dante, you think that will have any impact on his career in Hollywood or no? He's above that.
The thing is, Bill Maher he's been in a weird place for the past 5 or 6 years now, man. I think Bill's been in a weird place since COVID, right? And kind of like me, where once we started questioning things about COVID and questioning all these things about the lockdowns, all of a sudden, liberal friends start turning on us, right? So, and I think Bill's journey started with that. Okay. So I don't know if this is going to, and he's only going further with it, right? He is called the Dems out many times on his show. He calls out liberals on his show. I don't know if it's going to hurt his career. In fact, I think at this point, it just probably help him.
Okay.
I mean, he'll whatever ground he probably lost with the quote unquote tolerant left, as Gutfeld just said here, like whatever he lost there, he'll gain possibly on the other side of it. Because he's somebody that I don't necessarily dislike, and I know some people find him just utterly obnoxious, but he is somebody who generally has a pretty even, like he's not one to fall for the bullshit real easy, right? Like he was one of the few people on the left who was like, no, I don't think that fucking mandating a shot is necessarily a good thing, and stuff like that. Those kind of ideas that weren't necessarily popular with quote unquote his base, right? Because he's always been one of those guys that's always ridden the line because he likes to do that to get his guests riled up. And he's been doing this now for what, almost 30 fucking years.
Oh, dude, since the 90s. I mean,
because
since
I'm talking about politically incorrect.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like, I mean, he's been doing this for so long now that he knows exactly what he's doing. He's not dumb. He's one of the highest paid guys in television when it comes to this kind of stuff, if not the highest paid possibly. So
probably the longest running show on HBO.
Yeah, because he had politically incorrect, and then he jumped to HBO. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Bill will be fine. Bill he's an old school Democrat, right? And on top of that, he's an old school Democrat, or I'm sorry, old school Hollywood Democrat.
Are there enough of them left in Hollywood? That's the
not many, man. They're you know what? They're being forced out.
And I agree with Mars Monkey Max is that he does try to be edgy, but he's not doing it like Howard Stern, where it's all just a fucking grift.
Yeah.
No, Howard
Stern
makes sense. It's an absolute grift.
I give credit to Kid Rock. He went out on a limb, as a bridge between two quarreling people that he happens to be friends with, and that is sharing the risk at its best. And what do you do when you share the risk? It causes other people to share the risk too. So both of these guys had something to lose. They
I'm looking at that like, what the fuck are you wearing?
Oh God! Y'all didn't hear about that, did you? Oh God, it's funny.
This man looks like a walking advertisement.
He's gonna give me a fucking heart attack right now. Holy shit!
Oh, wait till you hear it.
If you don't
I'm like, dude, is
2
this
minutes,
pro wrestling? Like, what are you doing here, man?
Oh my God.
Oh wait, you haven't seen the best of it.
Is Triple H going to come from behind? Like, what
Kid Rock and The Rock here? Like, what the fuck?
Oh no, you got to wait to hear it because somebody asked him in the White House, "You look like someone who's going to get blasted out of a cannon."
You know what he looks like? He looks like Evil Knievel, man. Like,
I almost love it. It's like, it's so rhinestone cowboy.
aside because they realize there's nothing to lose at all once you put your egos aside, and because Kid Rock was able to take the risk, they all decided to take the risk, and I think they're going to win from it. The scariest part for a lot of people is finding out that Trump might be a good person, because you've sunk so much of your energy and your life into him being bad. So you might not want to meet him, because the moment that you have to relinquish any of that sunk cost, what's left? That's why you still have, and I think it's easier for Democrats. It's not for never Trump Republicans. They can't let it go because their entire identity is wrapped around that definition of who they are. They go into a room with them, that sunk cost.
Yeah, because they hate Trump. Anyway, I'll show you Kid Rock.
No,
Kid Knievel.
It's true though. It's
Kid
true.
Kid Knievel.
You know what? Here's the thing. I think I don't know if we're gonna see like liberals coming out of the woodwork to try to do what Bill Maher's doing. I don't think we're going to see that level of it, but I think we are going to see a small trickle. I think we're going to see a small trickle of people who are going to be like, yeah, maybe we need to find common ground here with some people. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that Tesla terrorism is helping more people move.
Oh, absolutely. It is, yeah.
And you had a small wave of it at first too, where you just kind of had a lot of people notice that, hey, wait a minute, all these people that were just calling Trump a Yahtzee and, the guy who's going to start World War III and the end of democracy are rubbing elbows with him at Mar-a-Lago. What the fuck's that all about? So people were already noticing that before. So clearly the left, people are starting to really, really, really see the true colors now that none of this shit really meant anything to them. It was all just a game for politics at the end of the day. And once most people start realizing that, maybe we'll start getting some other people to actually wake up. So we'll have a true woke society in a sense of they've wakened from this bullshit crap. Because social media has become nothing but a propaganda machine for politics.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty crazy.
It used to be a place where we could laugh at kitty videos and share memes and maybe a few dirty pictures and make some dirty jokes. And now it's become, and where your aunt doesn't know how to send messages, right?
That was its first iteration.
Yeah, now we're at 2.0 where it's all about the politics. And a few kitty memes.
Wow. Here he is.
Speed.
know you,
Kid Liberace, as Sander said in the chat.
Alina Hava gets some credit too, because I know she worked very hard on this, but thank you for making this happen so quick. Anyone who's bought a concert ticket in the last decade, maybe 20 years, no matter what your politics are, knows that it's a conundrum. You buy a ticket for $100, by the time you check out, it's 170. You don't know what you can charge for it, but more importantly, these bots, you know, they come in to get all the good tickets to your favorite shows you want to go to, and then they're relisted immediately for sometimes a 400 or 500% markup. And the artists don't see any of that money. And, you know, ultimately, I think this is a great first step. I would love down the road if there'd be some legislation that we could actually put a cap on the resale. It's kind of ridiculous. I would rather be.
So wait, is Trump actually doing what Biden said he was going to do for Taylor Swift?
Yep, but he didn't do it. But I'm trying to find, where is it, the one where they asked about.
Hello.
They asked Biden. I typed Kid Rock. I typed Kid Rock. Here it is.
You got some of those scrolls, man.
President Trump, would you ever wear a jacket like that? I don't know. I was thinking about doing it for tomorrow. We have a big event coming up, and I was thinking about doing it.
If anybody else
you
could.
recently bought a Tesla.
Well, you know what's
If
funny?
anybody else could wear it, it's me.
I've seen posts where people on the left are like, you know, Kid Rock's not wearing a suit. How come Zelensky had to wear one? I'm like,
leader of
Oh, Kid Rock's wearing a suit, bro.
Yeah.
yeah.
That suit costs more than Zelensky's entire fucking wardrobe, I bet.
Probably, actually.
Well, Zelensky has the one wardrobe, one thing, his Temu outfit.
And also, Kid Rock's not there begging for money either, right?
Mhm.
So, like,
No. He's
where's
also
the
not.
respect here?
Yeah, he's also not a. No, it was the X feed. I typed Kid Rock. I thought it was only Kid Rock. That's what was scrolling.
No, we're
up.
picking on you. We're picking on
No,
you.
no.
You gotta
Just
be
somebody
careful
was
with that.
asking. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I'm gonna do that from now on. I thought it would be quicker, so we didn't.
Next thing you know, you'll have penises flopping all over.
Hell
the
no,
place.
no.
You'd be surprised.
And here's the last thing. Do y'all remember the hacker who came out a couple of years ago, who had hacked GoFundMe? Give, send, go. This guy.
I don't remember the story,
vaguely.
This nutcase. Yeah, this nutcase.
Yes, I doxed the truckers. I did it. It was me. I hacked Give, Send, Go, baby. And I do it again.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, the nutcase. He's a nutcase.
I do it 100 times.
He never got any criminal charges for that?
Come at me. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to me, huh?
Yeah. He's in jail. It took all this time because what he did was he hacked all the Canadian truckers who were having the protests. Remember during COVID, during the lockdowns? And all the people who were sending money to the truckers, the Give, Send, Go accounts. He hacked it and shared all their names. You had some of them who had their bank accounts frozen in Canada, and you had some here who had problems. Well, it's taken all these years, but the Trump administration working with Texas, which I don't know why Texas have anything to do with it, they finally, and working with Canada, he got arrested yesterday.
Good.
I thought that was good news because this guy would go everywhere like, what are you going to do about it? I can do whatever I want. I'm God of the keyboard. You know, he's like, and the Biden administration wouldn't do anything. So Trump took care of it. All right. We've had an amazing show. We're going to talk more this weekend because I just found out that, Greta Gerwig angers the hell out of me. She's in charge of the Narnia series.
Yeah, and the thing that bugs me about her is like I do like her. I like her. I've met her a few times in person, and she's really, really nice woman.
Why is she fucking up a C.S. Lewis?
But here's the thing: it's a rumor, so I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to stick to it just being a rumor for now.
You know why I thought it was a rumor, and today I didn't. Do you know who's producing that?
Who?
Amy Pascal.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Well, never mind then.
That's when I found out today, I was like, this may not be a rumor anymore.
Let's just for a moment pretend this rumor is true. Okay. I see it now. They're gonna forget that girl lions don't have manes.
Right. I know Gary said it was a rumor. The problem is there's a deep dive at the Hollywood Reporter and Variety on Amy Pascal and what her role is going to be over at Amazon, right? And as I'm going through it, right at the bottom of the paragraph, it's listing the projects that she's on currently outside of Amazon. Producer, Netflix. Narnia. Greta Gerwig, Amy Pascal. I was like, fuck. It looks like it's going to be true. I hope it's not, because I think it would be disgusting to have Meryl Streep as Aslan.
Well, the upside could be that Greta did want her name taken off of Snow White, and to the point where we're hearing rumors that she may even sue to do so.
Can she do that?
Technically, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She could definitely have her name removed.
How? If you're
unless they
under
arbitrated
contract?
through the Writers Guild. Well, if they, she can argue, and this is what she's been saying, I guess, and this is just rumors, but she did, get shit canned from Disney and all that business. So I believe it, and that they took her original version and rewrote it to fuck anyway. So like whatever is there of her original version is probably very little to none. So she could probably argue through the guild that none of her original version exists, and they're just listing her name to use her name, basically.
I hope so.
And I mean, Barbie, for the most part, was good until the third act, right? That's where it went off the rails. Because like before that, and to me, it's like she was like 2/3 of the way there. If you'd have just figured out at the end of this movie, all you needed to do was make Barbie a mom, then maybe you figured this out. But no, she couldn't do that because that's not the Hollywood way of doing things. Like, she can't do that kind of a message, right? But she is supposedly
She's a good filmmaker, though. I mean, that's the thing.
I was gonna say she's supposed to be a little bit more based than most people.
My problem is when we read this 5 months ago, remember I keyed it on the keyword. Greta Gerwig said she wanted to reimagine.
It's a rock opera, though. Isn't that the whole fucking thing that has me kind of weirded out? I'm like, what the fuck is this supposed to be?
Meryl Streep cannot be Aslan. It's Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Yeah, I until I get confirmation, I'm going to hold out that for right now it's just a rumor.
Okay.
I agree with you. It'd be stupid to cast any woman as Aslan. It doesn't make any sense, but
Yep. All right, gentlemen. This has been a great time. Did you hear about the latest casting news also for HBO's Harry Potter? That is the one casting decision I thought was fantastic. If it's true, it is for Hagrid. It's
yeah. We talked about that.
Yeah, I still think it's. I got more news on that.
Yeah,
but
that's
we'll
one of
cover
those
it.
things. They seem for every step forward, they take 2 steps back.
Yeah, I know. All right, what do y'all have coming up, Dante? What do you tell everybody where they can find you? What you got coming up?
Yeah, you guys can find me at Verbal Riot on YouTube, Rumble, and X. I do have a video coming out about John Boyega and this whole stupid Star Wars situation. I also might have one coming out about the Sydney Sweeney being single situation as well. I got into some shit.
You got a date with her?
Well, I got into some shit on Twitter or X yesterday about her situation, and people are having some weird takes.
Yeah, I know
about their breakup, and so I kind of feel like I need to chime in on this.
I think I might know what you're talking
It's
about.
good that you should. I can't wait to watch that video. You got to watch Verbals Rage. You got to watch Tom's videos. These are gems. The thing is, this is like every dude on social media since it was announced that Sydney Sweeney broke up, they think they have a shot with her. It is
It's hilarious. But you know what, though? Good for her. If they all think that, that's good for her. You know what I mean?
That's the age-old thing, right? Like, that's the whole John Lennon effect, right?
Yeah.
And for Verbal must know what I'm talking about. Yeah, like back in the day, for the longest time, they made if they wouldn't let it be publicly known that John Lennon was married, because they were afraid that if they knew that if the girls knew John Lennon was married, they'd quit buying Beatles albums.
Yeah.
All righty, Tom, what you got coming up?
I got physical media coming up here in a few hours over on Fanzine with Greg. We got the morning show tomorrow on the main channel, and of course Midnight's Edge after dark every other day as well. Which Sunday, I don't know what I got to figure out what I'm going to do for the tier list this week. Shit.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
Thursday we'll have a show. Yeah.
Cool. I will see you gentlemen on Slayer Nation this Sunday at 2 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. UK time. Everybody, thank you for your super chats. Ladies and gentlemen, Slayers alike. Love you all. You have a blessed day. Remember, we are fighters with one unbreakable rule. We never bow down. We never bend the knee. Always forward.